Take a deep breath with me right now. Let it out slowly. Good. Your body already knows what we're about to do together. For the next hour, you're going to journey back through time to discover a truth that's been hidden from you, a truth that lives in your bones, in your DNA, in the deepest parts of who you are. You're exactly where you need to be right now, settling in, getting comfortable, preparing to learn something that will change how you see food, health, and your own body forever. Picture this moment with me. It's twilight in the African savanna, 100,000 years ago. The sky is burning with colors you've never seen in your modern life. Deep oranges that seem to glow from within, purples so rich they look almost edible, reds that pulse with the last warmth of the day. The air is cooling now, that perfect temperature where you don't need anything covering you, where your skin feels alive and awake to every gentle breeze. Your ancestors are gathering now. Not strangers, but your family. Your great-great-great-grandmothers and grandfathers, multiplied by thousands of generations. They're coming together in a loose circle on the grass, and you can feel the weight of the day settling into their muscles, just as it does in yours right now. Some are young, barely more than children. Others are elders, their faces marked by sun and wind and laughter. All of them carry something you can feel, even across this vast distance of time, a deep contentment, a knowing that they are exactly where they belong. The hunt was successful today. A young antelope lies in the center of the circle, still warm. There's no fire yet crackling nearby, because fire isn't fully mastered in this moment of human history. They haven't lost the knowledge of how to eat without it. And what happens next might shock you, might challenge everything you've been taught about food and civilization and what it means to be human. They eat it raw, not as an act of desperation or savagery, but as a sacred ritual, a celebration, a way of honoring the life that now sustains theirs. Watch as skilled hands separate the meat, as it's shared with perfect fairness among the group. The young mother gets her portion. The elderly grandfather receives his with gratitude. The children are fed first, always first, because that's how survival works when you understand what truly matters. Feel yourself there now. You're not just watching, you're present. The cooling grass beneath you presses against your legs exactly as your bed or chair holds you now. The scent of earth and blood and life itself fills the air. Not repulsive, but honest, real, undeniable. Your breathing is slowing to match theirs. Your heartbeat is finding their rhythm. Slow, steady, safe within this circle of family. This is where your body remembers being. When you close your eyes at night and feel that inexplicable longing for something you can't name, this is what your cells are whispering about. This circle, this connection, this perfect rightness of humans eating the food their bodies were designed over millions of years to consume. The raw meat tastes different than anything you've experienced. It's not the tough, chewy thing you might imagine. It's tender, still warm from the animal's recent life, and it carries a richness, a satisfaction that goes beyond mere flavor. Your ancestors' faces show it, a deep peace settling over them as they eat. This isn't just calories entering their bodies. This is complete nutrition in its most bioavailable form, nutrients their cells recognize instantly, gratefully. Can you feel it? That deep, soul-level contentment that comes from being properly nourished. Not the quick sugar high or the heavy fullness from processed foods, but something ancient and true and right. Your body knows this feeling. It's been searching for it your entire life every time you sit down to eat, hoping this time, this meal will finally provide what every cell is crying out for. As darkness deepens around the circle, as the first stars begin appearing in that vast African sky, your ancestors continue their meal in comfortable silence. There's no anxiety here about whether this food is healthy, no counting of calories or macros or worrying about inflammation. They simply know, the way a child knows, the way your body still knows if you'll listen to it, that this is exactly what they need. The raw meat digests differently than anything cooked. It sits gently in their stomachs, not causing the heaviness or bloating that modern cooked and processed foods create. Within their digestive systems, something miraculous is happening that we'll explore together tonight. Enzymes within the raw meat are actually helping to digest themselves. Billions of beneficial bacteria in their guts are thriving on nutrients that cooking would destroy. Their bodies are extracting every vitamin, every mineral, every compound that evolution designed this food to provide. You can almost feel it in your own body now, can't you? That whisper of recognition. When you crave a rare steak, when something in you recoils from overcooked, dried out meat, when certain foods make you feel deeply satisfied in ways that have nothing to do with how full your stomach is, you're hearing echoes of 100,000 years of wisdom. You're not broken. You're not weird. You're exquisitely, perfectly ancient. Tonight, as you lie here with me, you're going to discover why your ancestors' way of eating wasn't primitive ignorance, but sophisticated nutritional wisdom. You're going to learn secrets about longevity, vitality, mental health, and physical power that modern science is only beginning to understand. And you're going to feel something shift inside you, a permission to trust your body's wisdom, to listen to those ancient whispers, to know that what sustained humanity for hundreds of thousands of years holds truths your cells have never forgotten. Let your eyes get heavy if they want to. Let your body sink deeper into whatever holds you. You're safe here in this moment, connected to every human who came before you, held in the arms of ancestral wisdom that has never stopped calling you home. The twilight deepens, the stars multiply, the circle of your ancestors continues their sacred meal, and you across all that time, across all that distance, are joining them. You always have been, you always will be. This is your story. This is your heritage. This is your body's deepest truth, waiting to be remembered. Feel the warmth of ancient fires protecting you, even though we haven't lit them yet. Feel the breath of sleeping ancestors matching yours. Feel yourself exactly where you belong, at the beginning of a journey that will take you home to yourself. Your breathing is slower now, isn't it? Deeper. More relaxed? Good. That's exactly right. Your body is remembering something it's always known. How to rest the way your ancestors rested. How to let the day dissolve into peaceful night. How to prepare for the kind of deep, restorative sleep that heals everything it touches. After that feast, after sharing the raw meat among the family circle, your ancestors don't rush anywhere. There's nowhere to go, nothing to do except exist in the perfect simplicity of this moment. They don't pull out devices to scroll through. They don't worry about emails or meetings or all the artificial urgencies that modern life pretends are important. They simply rest. And in that rest, something profound happens that you're experiencing right now. Their nervous systems begin to shift from the day's activities into the body's natural restoration mode. Watch them now in your mind's eye as darkness settles more completely over the African savanna. The children have curled against their mothers, their small bodies already gone slack with sleep, their breathing soft and even. A young woman leans against her partner, his arm around her shoulders, both of them staring into the distance where the last light is fading. The elderly ones sit with straight backs despite their age. Their faces peaceful, their eyes half closed. In that beautiful place between waking and sleeping where wisdom lives, the raw meat they've eaten sits perfectly in their stomachs. There's no indigestion, no acid reflux, none of the digestive distress that plagues modern people after evening meals. Why? Because their bodies have been eating this way for millions of years. Their digestive systems don't have to work overtime trying to process cooking oils, charred proteins, or the 1,000 artificial additives in modern food. They're simply processing food in its most natural state, the way nature designed, the way your body still wants to work if you'll let it. Can you feel your own stomach right now? Is it relaxed, or are you carrying tension there? So many modern people clench their stomachs without even realizing it, their bodies in a constant state of low-level stress about digestion, about food, about whether what they've eaten will cause problems. Your ancestors didn't have this fear. Food was simple. Food was trusted. Food was exactly what their bodies needed. Provided by the earth, prepared by their own hands, consumed with gratitude as full night arrives, as the savannah comes alive with the sounds you're starting to hear, if you listen carefully. The distant call of a night bird, the rustle of grass in the breeze, the soft breathing of 20 humans resting together. Something beautiful begins happening in your ancestors' bodies. The protein and fat from the raw meat is being broken down, but gently, efficiently, without the inflammatory response that cooked foods trigger. Amino acids are being shuttled to muscles for repair. Healthy fats are being incorporated into cell membranes. Vitamins and minerals in their most bioavailable forms are being absorbed completely. And their sleep, when it comes, is the kind of sleep you dream about. Deep, uninterrupted, restorative. The kind of sleep where you wake feeling like a completely new person, where every cell has been renewed, where problems that seemed insurmountable the night before somehow feel manageable. This wasn't luck or genetics. This was the natural result of bodies receiving exactly what they need in exactly the form they evolved to use. Let yourself drift with them now. Feel your eyelids getting heavier. Feel your muscles releasing tension you didn't even know you were holding. Your ancestors are showing you how, across 100,000 years, they're teaching you the most fundamental skill any human needs, how to truly rest. The stars above them are the same stars above you right now, even though you might not be able to see them through your roof and walls. The same constellations wheeling slowly across the sky. The same moon rising, casting silver light across the grass, across their peaceful faces, across the eternal now, where past and present dissolve into each other. Time is getting softer, isn't it? The boundaries between then and now gently blurring. This is perfect. This is exactly right. Your ancestors understood something about evening nutrition that modern science is only beginning to rediscover. The raw meat they ate contained enzymes, millions of them, that actually assisted in their own digestion. Protease to break down proteins, lipase to process fats, amylase for any plant carbohydrates they consumed. These enzymes are alive in raw food, active, ready to help. But the moment meat is cooked above 118 degrees Fahrenheit, these helpers die. Modern people's bodies have to do all the digestive work alone, without assistance, which is why so many people feel exhausted after meals instead of energized. But your ancestors' bodies had help. The food was working with them, not against them, and as they drifted towards sleep, their digestive systems hummed along quietly, efficiently, not stealing energy from the restoration processes that sleep is meant to provide. Their bodies could focus on healing, on repairing damaged cells, on consolidating memories, on balancing hormones, on all the thousands of maintenance tasks that happen during proper sleep. Feel your own body beginning these processes now. You don't have to do anything. Your body knows how. It's been doing this every night of your life, the best it can with what you've given it. But tonight, as you connect with ancestral wisdom, as you remember how humans are designed to rest, maybe your body can go a little deeper. Maybe your nervous system can relax a little more completely. Maybe you can trust, just for tonight, that you're safe enough to truly let go. Watch a young mother in the circle, her infant sleeping against her chest, both of them breathing in perfect synchrony. See an old man, maybe 70 years old, sleeping peacefully with his grandchildren nearby. Notice how there's no sleep anxiety here, no racing thoughts, no tomorrow worries keeping anyone awake. They exist fully in this moment, this perfect now where all is well, all is provided for, all is exactly as it should be. The raw meat they ate has one more gift to give as they sleep. It contains compounds, amino acids like tryptophan and glycine, that actually promote deep sleep. Tryptophan converts to serotonin, then to melatonin, the hormone that guides you into rest. Glycine lowers core body temperature and calms nervous system activity. Your ancestors were eating sleep medicine with every meal, not from pills or supplements, but from the whole, complete, perfect food that nature provided. Modern people, eating cooked and processed foods depleted of these compounds, often struggle with sleep. They take melatonin supplements trying to replace what should have come from food. They use sleep medications with side effects and dependency risks. But your ancestors simply ate real food and slept like babies, even as adults, even in old age, because they worked with their biology instead of against it. Can you feel sleep pulling at you now? That gentle heaviness spreading through your limbs? The way your thoughts are becoming softer, less urgent, more dreamlike? This is your birthright. This is how human sleep is supposed to feel. Not forced by medication, not escaped into by exhaustion, but welcomed naturally, trustingly, the way a child falls asleep in loving arms. The night deepens over the savannah. The temperature drops to perfect sleeping weather, cool enough to snuggle into animal hides, warm enough to remain comfortable. Your ancestors shift in their sleep, unconsciously moving closer together, sharing warmth, maintaining the connection that keeps predators away and anxiety at bay. Even in sleep, they're held by family, by tribe, by the knowledge that they belong. You belong too, right here, right now. You're part of this unbroken chain of humans stretching back through time. Every night you sleep, you join this ancient circle. Every time you close your eyes, you're participating in a ritual that's 300,000 years old. You're not alone. You've never been alone. Millions of ancestors sleep with you. Their wisdom flowing through your DNA, their peace available to you if you'll remember how to access it. Let your jaw go slack. Let your shoulders drop. Let your breathing find that perfect rhythm. Slow in, slow out, like waves on a shore, like the breath of sleeping ancestors, like the eternal rhythm of life itself. You're so safe right now. So perfectly held. So exactly where you need to be. The ancient hunters sleep, and you connected across impossible time sleep with them. The same earth holds you. The same stars watch over you. The same deep peace cradles you. You are home. You have always been home. You are safe in the embrace of ancestral wisdom, drifting now into the rest you deserve, the rest your body has been craving, the rest that heals everything it touches. Sleep now, Ancient One. Sleep as they slept, deep, peaceful, complete. Inside that raw meat your ancestors consumed, something remarkable was happening that modern science has only recently begun to understand. Imagine millions of tiny workers, too small to see but powerful beyond measure. These are enzymes, biological catalysts that make life possible. And when your ancestors ate raw meat, they weren't just eating protein and fat. They were consuming an army of helpers that would assist their bodies in extracting every possible nutrient from every bite. Let your breathing match mine as we explore this together. In slowly. Out even more slowly. Good. Your body is relaxing deeper now, becoming more receptive to this ancient wisdom that lives in every cell you possess. The three main enzymes in raw meat are protease, lipase, and amylase. Protease breaks down protein chains into individual amino acids that your body can absorb and use. Lipase splits fat molecules into fatty acids and glycerol. Amylase begins the digestion of any plant carbohydrates present. These aren't just chemistry terms to file away somewhere. These are ancient allies that your ancestors consumed with every single meal, allies that modern cooking destroys completely. When meat is heated above 118 degrees Fahrenheit, these enzymes denature. That's the scientific word for die. They stop working. They can no longer help. And suddenly your digestive system has to do all the work alone, without assistance, like trying to build a house by yourself when you used to have a whole crew helping you. Is it any wonder modern people feel exhausted after meals? Their bodies are working overtime to accomplish what should be a shared task, but your ancestors had help. Inside their digestive systems, as they slept peacefully under African stars, those consumed enzymes continued working. Protease was methodically breaking down protein chains. Lipase was splitting fats into usable components. The meat was, in a very real sense, digesting itself, making its nutrients available with minimal effort from their bodies. Feel how restful that is, even in concept. Your body working less, achieving more. Energy being freed up for other tasks, healing damaged tissues, fighting off pathogens, balancing hormones, consolidating the day's learning into memory. This is elegant biological design spanning millions of years of evolution. This is sophistication, not primitiveness. Modern people, missing these dietary enzymes, often develop digestive issues over time. Bloating, gas, acid reflux, that heavy feeling after meals that makes you want to loosen your pants and collapse on the couch.
These aren't normal.
These aren't just part of life. These are signs that your body is struggling to process food without the help it evolved to receive. Your ancestors didn't experience these problems. Skeletal evidence shows us their bones remain strong into old age, indicating excellent nutrient absorption. Their teeth, which we'll explore in detail later, remained intact and healthy, another sign of proper mineral absorption. Their bodies worked efficiently because they were receiving the tools, the enzymes, they needed to do their jobs. Let yourself sink deeper into relaxation now. Notice how your stomach feels. Is it tense or is it soft? Can you let it relax even more, trusting that your body knows how to process and use what you've given it? Your ancestors trusted this completely. They never worried about digestion because their food was working with them, not against them. There's something almost magical about the concept, isn't there? Food that helps digest itself. Nature providing not just the nutrients, but also the means to access those nutrients. It's like receiving a gift that's already unwrapped, already ready to be enjoyed. This is the wisdom of eating raw, not just the nutrients themselves, but the enzymatic assistance that makes those nutrients bioavailable. Modern nutrition science sells you supplements, digestive enzyme capsules you take with meals, trying to replace what should have been in the food itself. Protease supplements, lipase supplements, enzyme blends marketed as the solution to your digestive woes. But your ancestors didn't need supplements. They had the original version, the best version, the one that came packaged perfectly by millions of years of evolutionary design. As you drift deeper into rest, imagine your own digestive system receiving this kind of help. Imagine food working with you instead of being something your body has to struggle against. Imagine feeling light and energized after eating instead of heavy and tired. This isn't fantasy. This is how human digestion is meant to work when we align with our biological design. Your body still produces its own digestive enzymes, of course. Your pancreas secretes them. Your stomach lining produces them. But here's something important that modern medicine has discovered. Enzyme production declines with age. After about 25 years old, you make fewer and fewer enzymes each year. By middle age, many people are producing only half the enzymes they did in their youth. By old age, enzyme production can be severely compromised, but your ancestors supplemented their own enzyme production with every meal. They didn't wait until middle age to discover they had digestive problems. They maintained optimal enzyme levels throughout their entire lives because they consistently consumed enzyme-rich raw foods. This is one secret to how they maintained such vitality into old age. They were supporting their body's natural processes every single day. Feel your breathing now.
So slow, so peaceful.
In and out, like gentle waves, like the eternal rhythm of life that sustained your ancestors through countless generations. You're connecting with their wisdom right now, allowing it to settle into your consciousness, into your body's memory. You don't have to do anything with this information right now. Just let it rest inside you like a seed planted in fertile soil, waiting for the right time to grow. The enzyme secret is just the beginning. Your ancestors' raw meat contained so many other compounds that cooking destroys. Compounds we're going to explore together as the night deepens and your rest becomes even more profound. Each one a piece of the puzzle explaining why they lived longer, stronger, healthier lives than modern people, despite lacking all our medical technology. Let your eyes remain closed if they're closed. Let your body become heavier, sinking into whatever supports you. The ancient wisdom is holding you now, enzyme by enzyme, breath by breath, carrying you deeper into the rest you deserve.
You're safe here.
You're exactly where you need to be. And there's so much more to discover as we journey together through the night. Deep in your gut right now, at this very moment, trillions of bacteria are living their microscopic lives.
They're not invaders or enemies.
They're partners, allies who help you digest food, produce vitamins, regulate your immune system, even influence your mood and thoughts. You are not just you. You are a living ecosystem, a walking garden of microbial life. And your ancestors understood this in ways that modern medicine is only beginning to grasp. Breathe with me now. Feel your belly rise and fall gently.
Inside that belly is a rainforest of bacteria, a thriving community that's more ancient than you realize.
Let's visit your ancestors' guts and see what flourished there when they ate raw meat under prehistoric stars. Your ancestors' digestive system wasn't just an organ. It was a garden cultivated over millions of years of eating specific foods in specific ways. The bacteria species living there evolved alongside humanity, adapting to process exactly what humans consumed. Many of these bacterial strains specialized in digesting raw animal foods, breaking down raw proteins, processing raw fats, extracting nutrients that modern cooking destroys or makes inaccessible. Picture this internal ecosystem now. Billions of tiny workers, each one performing specific tasks. Some produce B vitamins that your body can't make on its own. Others synthesize vitamin K2, crucial for directing calcium into bones and teeth instead of soft tissues and arteries. Some create short-chain fatty acids that feed the cells lining your intestines, keeping your gut barrier strong and healthy. Others produce neurotransmitter precursors that travel to your brain and influence how you feel emotionally. This wasn't random. This was elegant biological partnership refined over countless generations. Your ancestors fed these beneficial bacteria with every meal of raw meat. And in return, the bacteria gave them enhanced nutrition, stronger immunity, better mood regulation, and optimal gut health that modern people rarely experience. As you rest here, becoming more relaxed with each breath, imagine your own gut garden. What grows there depends entirely on what you feed it. Different bacteria thrive on different foods. The species that flourished in your ancestors' guts, many now extinct in modern populations, evolved specifically to process nutrients from raw animal foods. When humans started cooking all their meat, many of these specialized bacterial strains began disappearing. They weren't being fed anymore. They couldn't survive in the new environment. Modern research on isolated hunter-gatherer tribes still eating traditional diets reveals something shocking. Their gut microbiome diversity, the number of different bacterial species present, is 40% greater than Western populations eating modern processed foods.
40%. That's not a small difference.
That's a fundamental disparity in internal ecosystem health. These missing bacterial species, scientists are finding that many evolved specifically to process raw or lightly fermented animal foods. Your ancestors had them. Indigenous peoples eating traditional diets still have them. But modern people cooking everything to sterilization have lost them. And with them, we've lost capabilities our bodies depend on. Feel your gut now as you breathe. No effort required. Just notice. Is it relaxed or holding tension?
Can you let it soften even more?
Your ancestors' guts were relaxed, at peace, perfectly aligned with the bacteria living inside them. There was no war happening in their digestive systems.
No inflammation.
No immune system confusion attacking beneficial bacteria or letting pathogenic ones flourish. Just peaceful cooperation between human and microbe. When your ancestors ate raw meat, they weren't worried about harmful bacteria. Their gut microbiomes were so robust, so diverse, so healthy that pathogenic bacteria couldn't establish footholds. Beneficial bacteria outnumbered potential pathogens by such massive ratios that safety was built into the system. This is what researchers call competitive exclusion, when beneficial microbes are so numerous that harmful ones can't find space to grow. Modern people with depleted gut microbiomes lack this protection. Their internal gardens have been damaged by antibiotics, processed foods, stress, and lack of microbial exposure. They're vulnerable in ways their ancestors never were. This is why food poisoning is so common now. Not because food is more dangerous, but because modern guts are less protected. Let your breathing deepen even further as we explore what these ancient gut bacteria did for your ancestors as they slept. While consciousness faded and dreams began, those billions of bacteria continued working. They fermented dietary fiber into butyrate, a compound that heals and seals the gut lining. They produced folate and biotin. They converted amino acids into neurotransmitter precursors. They synthesized compounds that would support the immune system tomorrow. All night long, this microscopic workforce labored, sustaining human health from the inside out. Your ancestors never had inflammatory bowel disease, irritable bowel syndrome, Crohn's disease, ulcerative colitis, or the dozens of other gut problems plaguing modern populations. These weren't genetic immunity. These conditions simply don't appear in traditional peoples eating ancestral diets. The protective factor: a thriving, diverse gut microbiome fed by foods those bacteria evolved to process, including raw animal foods. Imagine your own gut garden being tended while you sleep. Each breath you take is bringing oxygen to your cells. Each heartbeat is circulating nutrients. And inside your digestive system, bacteria are working on your behalf, doing their best with what you've given them.
Can you feel gratitude for this?
For the trillions of allies living inside you, trying to keep you healthy despite the challenges of modern life. Your ancestors felt no separation between themselves and their gut bacteria. They didn't know about microbiology, but they understood instinctively that food quality mattered, that what they ate shaped how they felt, that health came from proper nourishment of body and the unseen helpers within. This wisdom lives in your DNA, whispering to you when certain foods make you feel wonderful and others make you feel terrible. As the night deepens and your rest becomes more profound, let yourself appreciate the ecosystem you carry. Let yourself wonder what it might feel like to have that 40% more bacterial diversity, that robustness your ancestors possessed. You don't have to change anything right now. Just hold the possibility gently, like holding water in your palms. The wisdom is there when you're ready for it. The ancient bacteria worked through the night, supporting human health from within. And you, carrying their descendants, are still being supported right now by this ancient partnership. Breathe deeply, rest peacefully. Trust that your body, even in sleep, knows how to maintain itself. You're safe. You're held. You're exactly where ancestral wisdom wants you to be. There's something in fresh blood that modern cooking destroys instantly, something your ancestors consumed regularly that gave them vitality extending deep into old age. Let your mind settle into receptive calm as we explore compounds so powerful, so life-extending, that pharmaceutical companies spend billions trying to synthesize inferior versions of what your ancestors received freely from nature. Your breathing is so slow now, so peaceful. Each exhale releases a little more tension. Each inhale brings you deeper into ancestral wisdom. Good. Stay here with me in this comfortable place between waking and sleeping, where truth settles into your bones. When your ancestors made a kill, the most valuable part wasn't muscle meat. It was the organs, the blood, the parts modern people discard or cook until those precious compounds are destroyed. Fresh blood contained heme iron in its most bioavailable form, not the oxidized, poorly absorbed iron in supplements or overcooked meat, but iron molecules protected by protein structures that deliver them directly into your cells where they're needed. Picture an ancestor drinking fresh blood mixed with milk, a traditional practice among many cultures.
This isn't savagery.
This is sophisticated nutrition. That blood carried iron that would prevent anemia, support oxygen transport, enable energy production at the cellular level. Women who bled monthly, warriors who were occasionally wounded, everyone who needed iron could obtain it in the most perfect form nature provides. But iron is just the beginning. Fresh blood contained vitamin K2 in the MK4 form, the specific type that directs calcium away from your arteries and into your bones and teeth, where it belongs. Modern people consuming cooked foods lack adequate K2. Their calcium supplements meant to strengthen bones often end up calcifying arteries instead, contributing to heart disease. Your ancestors had the guidance molecule that prevented this. Every meal of fresh meat or blood delivered K2 that kept their arteries flexible and their bones dense. Feel how your body relaxes further when you imagine nutrients working with such precision, such intelligence. Your cells remember this. Your DNA carries instructions for utilizing these compounds optimally. You're not learning something new right now, you're remembering something ancient. CoQ10 is another compound abundant in raw meat and blood, destroyed by cooking. This molecule is absolutely critical for mitochondrial function, for your cell's ability to produce energy. As modern people age, their CoQ10 levels decline. They feel increasingly fatigued. Doctors prescribe CoQ10 supplements, but supplemental CoQ10 is poorly absorbed compared to the natural form found in fresh organ meats and blood. Your ancestors consumed abundant CoQ10 their entire lives. At 60 years old, they had energy that modern 40-year-olds lack, not because they were genetically superior, but because they were nutritionally supported at the cellular level, providing their mitochondria with the exact cofactors needed to produce energy efficiently. Let yourself drift deeper as we explore carnosine and anserine, two compounds that make muscles and brains resistant to aging. These molecules protect your DNA from oxidative damage. They prevent proteins from becoming glycated, cross-linked with sugars in ways that accelerate aging. They help maintain the acid-base balance in muscles, allowing better performance and recovery. Raw meat is rich in carnosine A and anserine. Cooking degrades them significantly. Your ancestors consumed these anti-aging compounds daily, protecting their cells from the damage that accumulates over decades. This is one reason why archaeological evidence shows them maintaining function and vitality so late in life. Their cellular aging was slower because they had molecular protection. Modern people lack. Watch an ancestor in your mind now. He's 60 years old by modern standards, but you wouldn't guess that by looking. His stride is strong.
His back is straight.
His eyes are clear. His mind is sharp. He participates fully in hunting, gathering, decision-making, teaching the young. He doesn't feel old because at the cellular level, his aging has been dramatically slowed by the compounds he's consumed every single day of his life. Modern science studies these compounds in isolation, giving them to lab animals, observing life extension and health improvements. Then researchers write papers, acting surprised that these molecules have anti-aging properties. But your ancestors weren't surprised. They might not have known the chemical names, but they understood instinctively that eating these foods made people strong, healthy, vital across a full lifespan. Your breath is like a whisper now, barely moving the air. Your body is so relaxed, so open to receiving this wisdom. The knowledge is settling into you, not just intellectually, but cellularly. Your body is remembering what it's always known, what real nourishment looks like, feels like, enables toit. Studies of traditional peoples like the Maasai warriors consuming raw blood and meat show virtually zero heart disease despite diets of 66% animal fat. Their arteries are clean. Their blood pressure is perfect. Their calcium scores Measures of arterial calcification show zero buildup. The secret? Those heat-sensitive compounds that cooking destroys. The K2 directing calcium correctly. The CoQ10 supporting cellular energy. The antioxidants protecting against oxidative damage. Modern cardiology tries to blame heart disease on animal fat, but traditional peoples eating massive amounts of animal fat have perfect cardiovascular health. The difference isn't the presence of animal foods, it's the form. Raw and properly prepared versus cooked to death and stripped of protective compounds. Feel your own cardiovascular system as you rest. Your heart beating steadily, reliably, the muscle that's worked every moment of your life without you consciously directing it. Your blood flowing through vessels that, if laid end to end, would stretch 100,000 miles. This entire system wants to stay healthy. It's designed to stay healthy. It needs only the right nutritional support, the support your ancestors provided it generation after generation. As you sink deeper into restorative rest, let yourself imagine having the vitality your ancestors possessed.
Energy that doesn't fade at 3 in the afternoon.
Mental clarity that remains sharp into old age. Physical capability that persists decade after decade. This isn't fantasy or exaggeration. This is documented human potential when biochemistry is supported properly. The longevity compounds hidden in fresh blood and raw meat weren't magic. They were specific molecules with specific functions, all working together in elegant concert to slow aging, support function, enable the robust health that should be every human's birthright. Your ancestors had access to these. You carry the genetic capacity to utilize them. The wisdom is there, waiting whenever you're ready to remember. Let your jaw go completely slack. Let your hands rest open and relaxed. Feel yourself held by ancient knowledge, cradled by the truth that humans can thrive, can live long and live well when they align with their biological design.
You're so safe here.
So perfectly positioned to receive what you need. The compounds that extended their lives are still available. The wisdom is still accessible. Your body still remembers how to use it all. Sleep deeper now. Rest more completely. The longevity secrets are settling into your consciousness, your cells, your ancestral memory that never truly forgot. You are the continuation of the longest line of survivors in Earth's history. Their vitality lives in your DNA, their potential lives in your body. Trust this, know this. Let it carry you into even deeper rest. Imagine being 65 years old and squatting effortlessly to sit by the evening fire. No creaking, no pain.
No stiffness.
No hands pushing on your knees to help you stand back up. Just smooth fluid movement like water flowing downhill. This wasn't rare among your ancestors. This was normal, expected, the natural result of consuming something modern people have almost entirely eliminated from their diets. Your breathing is so gentle now, barely a whisper in your chest. Let it stay that way. Let your entire body soften even more as we explore why your ancestors' joints remained supple and pain-free through decades of use that would cripple most modern people by middle age.
When your ancestors consumed an animal,
they didn't just eat the muscle meat. They ate everything, including the parts that modern people throw away or feed to pets. The cartilage connecting bones, the tendons attaching muscles, the ligaments holding joints together, the gelatinous tissue surrounding bones and joints. These parts weren't just food. They were medicine for joints, consumed regularly, providing compounds that most modern people are desperately deficient in. Raw cartilage contains glycosaminoglycans, complex sugars, that give cartilage its cushioning properties. It contains collagen types 1, 2, and 3, the structural proteins that make up your joints, tendons, ligaments, and skin. It contains hyaluronic acid, which lubricates joints and maintains the fluid that lets bones glide smoothly against each other. It contains chondroitin, which draws water into cartilage, keeping it hydrated and shock absorbent. All of these compounds are destroyed or significantly degraded by cooking. When you boil cartilage for hours to make bone broth, you break down some of these molecules into simpler forms. They're still beneficial, but less so than consuming them raw and intact. Your ancestors, eating raw cartilage and connective tissue regularly, received these joint-supporting compounds in their most potent, bioavailable form. Picture an elderly ancestor woman, perhaps 60 years old, working animal hides with her weathered hands. She's been doing this repetitive motion for decades, yet her finger joints remain flexible, painless. She can make a tight fist. She can perform intricate detail work. Her hands aren't gnarled and arthritic, like so many modern elderly people's hands become. Why? Because she's been consuming the raw materials her joints need to maintain themselves every single day of her life. Feel your own joints now as you rest. Your knees, your hips, your shoulders, your fingers. Are they comfortable, or do you carry tension or pain in any of them? So many modern people accept joint pain as inevitable with aging, but it's not inevitable. It's nutritional deficiency manifesting in the parts of your body that are constantly rebuilding themselves. Your joints are living tissue, constantly breaking down and rebuilding. Cartilage cells, called chondrocytes, need specific nutrients to create new cartilage matrix. If those nutrients aren't available in your diet, the rebuilding process slows or becomes incomplete. Over years and decades, cartilage thins. Bones begin grinding against each other. Pain develops. Inflammation sets in. Modern medicine calls this osteoarthritis and treats it as if it's a disease rather than a deficiency. Your ancestors didn't develop osteoarthritis. Archaeological examination of ancient skeletons shows remarkably healthy joints even in very old individuals. The joints show normal wear from use, but not the pathological degeneration common in modern populations. They were maintaining their joints throughout their lives because they consumed the building blocks joints need. Let yourself sink deeper into rest as you imagine your own joints being nourished this way. Imagine cartilage staying thick and cushiony. Imagine tendons and ligaments remaining strong and elastic. Imagine moving through your day without pain, without limitation, without that background noise of discomfort that so many people learn to tune out. Modern nutritional supplements try to replicate what your ancestors got from food. Glucosamine supplements, chondroitin supplements, collagen peptides, hyaluronic acid, MSM. The supplement industry makes billions selling isolated versions of compounds that should come from diet. But supplements are processed, dried, often oxidized. The molecules aren't in their natural form, surrounded by the cofactors that enhance absorption and utilization. Fresh, raw joint tissue contains all these compounds in living form, with enzymes intact, with cofactors present in the ratios nature designed. It's like the difference between listening to music live versus through a cheap speaker. Both are technically music, but one is full, rich, complete, while the other is a pale imitation. Your ancestors chewed on raw cartilage like people chew gum today. Children were given the softer cartilaginous parts to gnaw on, instinctively providing their growing bodies with the materials needed to build strong joints that would last a lifetime. Elderly people were given the gelatinous parts, easy to chew, packed with joint-healing compounds that kept them mobile and functional. Watch in your mind an elder ancestor climbing a tree at age 70 to retrieve honey. His joints bend and flex smoothly. His grip is strong. He moves with confidence, without fear of falling, without worry that his body will fail him.
This isn't superhuman.
This is normal human function when proper nutrition is maintained across a lifespan. Your spine, too, would benefit from this ancient wisdom. Between each vertebra sits a disc made largely of collagen and glycosaminoglycans. These discs need the same nutrients as other joints. Modern people's discs degenerate, compress, herniate. Back pain becomes epidemic. But your ancestors, consuming abundant joint-supporting nutrients, maintained spinal health that let them remain upright, flexible, pain-free. Feel your spine now where it contacts your bed or chair. Can you let it relax even more? Can you trust the support beneath you completely, letting every muscle along your spine release? Your ancestors had this trust in their bodies. They knew their joints would work because they'd always worked, because they were nourished properly, because the wisdom of generations had been passed down about which parts of animals to eat for which purposes. Modern orthopedic medicine sees joint problems as mechanical issues, requiring mechanical solutions, surgery, joint replacements, injections, but often these are nutritional issues requiring nutritional solutions. The solutions your ancestors knew instinctively, the solutions that kept them mobile and active through full, long lives. As you drift deeper into rest, let any tension in your joints dissolve. Let your hips release. Let your shoulders drop. Let your jaw unclench. Imagine those joints being bathed in synovial fluid rich with nutrients, cushioned by thick cartilage, supported by strong tendons and ligaments. This is your body's potential. This is what your joints want to be if given what they need. The ancient wisdom of eating nose to tail, consuming the whole animal, including parts modern people discard, wasn't wastefulness or lack of options. It was sophisticated understanding that different parts provide different nutrients, and complete health requires consuming the complete animal. Your ancestors knew this. Your body still knows this. The wisdom lives in your cells, waiting to be remembered. Let your breathing carry you deeper still, so soft, so peaceful. Your joints grateful for this rest, this opportunity to repair, this moment of receiving wisdom about how they could be supported more completely. You're safe here, held by ancient knowledge, cradled by truth your body recognizes. Rest now, drift, let the wisdom settle in. What made us human? What separated our ancestors from other primates? What allowed the development of language, art, complex thought, civilization itself? Modern anthropology points to one factor above all others: access to nutrient-dense brain food that fueled the explosive growth of our uniquely large, complex human brains. And the most prized brain food wasn't plants. It was brains themselves. Your breathing is like a whisper of wind now, barely disturbing the stillness. Stay in this peaceful place as we explore the most powerful cognitive enhancer your ancestors ever consumed, the one food that
literally made us capable of having this conversation, right?
Now, when your ancestors made a kill, the first thing consumed wasn't the muscle meat, it was the organs. And among organs, brain tissue was treasured above all, not because it tasted good, though they surely found it satisfying, but because somewhere in their ancestral wisdom, passed down through countless generations, they understood that eating brain strengthened brain. Modern neuroscience is discovering they were absolutely right. Raw brain tissue contains the highest concentration of DHA and EPA, omega-3 fatty acids, crucial for brain structure and function. Your brain is 60% fat, and much of that fat should be DHA. Every cell membrane in your brain needs DHA to remain fluid, flexible, capable of the rapid signaling that makes thought possible. Every neuron you have depends on these fats. But here's what's critical. Cooking oxidizes these delicate fats. Heat turns them from healing to inflammatory. Modern people eating cooked fish and meat get omega-3s, but in damaged form. Your ancestors consuming raw brain tissue got pristine, unoxidized fats protected by natural antioxidants present in the raw tissue. The difference in biological effect is profound. Picture a young mother in the ancestral circle, feeding small pieces of raw brain tissue to her toddler. She doesn't know about DHA or neural development, but she knows this food makes children strong and clever. She's seen it work generation after generation. The children-fed brain become the smartest adults, the best hunters, the most skilled craftspeople. The wisdom is proven by results, not by understanding mechanism. Feel yourself drifting deeper as we explore what else was in that brain tissue. Phosphatidylserine and phosphatidylcholine, phospholipids that make up cell membranes throughout your body, but especially in your brain. These compounds support memory formation, learning ability, mood regulation, cognitive processing speed. Your ancestors consumed them abundantly. modern people are often severely deficient. Raw brain also contains cholesterol, and before you recoil at that word, understand this. Cholesterol is absolutely critical for brain function. Your brain contains 25% of all the cholesterol in your body, despite being only 2% of your body weight. Every synapse needs cholesterol. Myelin sheaths wrapping your neurons are made partly from cholesterol. Low cholesterol is associated with depression, cognitive decline, and increased dementia risk. Your ancestors weren't afraid of cholesterol. They sought it out, understood instinctively that it was necessary for brain health, for hormone production, for cellular integrity. Modern medicine's decades-long war on all cholesterol has left populations deficient in a molecule their brains desperately need. Watch an elder ancestor teaching young hunters the tracking skills that require incredible
Observation, memory, spatial reasoning.
His brain remains sharp at 70 because he's consumed brain-supporting nutrients his entire life. He can remember the location of water sources he visited 50 years ago. He can read tracks in dirt that look like random marks to untrained eyes. His cognitive function hasn't declined because his brain has been properly nourished decade after decade. Let your own brain rest now as you listen. Feel your thoughts slowing, becoming softer, less urgent. Your brain works so hard every waking moment, processing, analyzing, worrying, planning. But right now it can rest. Right now, it can simply receive this information without needing to do anything with it. Just let it settle like snow falling on quiet ground. Raw brain tissue also contains acetylcholine precursors, compounds that support the neurotransmitter critical for memory and learning. It contains B vitamins in highly bioavailable forms. It contains minerals like zinc and selenium that support neurotransmitter production and protect against oxidative stress. It's not just food for the brain, it's medicine for the brain, provided perfectly by nature in the most concentrated form possible. Modern neuroscience spends billions trying to develop drugs for Alzheimer's disease, dementia, cognitive decline. Researchers look for pharmaceutical interventions while ignoring the nutritional deficiencies underlying these conditions. Your ancestors didn't get
Alzheimer's. Traditional peoples eating ancestral diets don't get Alzheimer's. The
disease appears when populations abandon traditional foods and adopt modern processed diets. The connection isn't mysterious. Brains need specific nutrients to maintain themselves. When those nutrients aren't present in sufficient quantities over years and decades, the brain begins failing. Amyloid plaques accumulate. Tau proteins tangle.
neurons die, memory fades.
But this isn't inevitable aging. This is long-term malnutrition manifesting in the organ most dependent on proper nutrition. Feel gratitude now for your own brain, still functioning, still thinking, still allowing you to experience consciousness. Even if it's not perfect, even if you struggle with focus or memory sometimes, it's doing its best with what you've given it. And perhaps there's wisdom here about how you might support it better, how you might provide more of what it evolved to receive. Your ancestors eating raw brain didn't just support their own cognition, they supported the cognitive development of their children. Pregnant and nursing mothers consuming brain tissue provided their developing babies with the exact fats and nutrients human brains need to grow properly. This is why humans evolved such large brains compared to other primates. Access to brain food literally made us human. The development of tools to crack skulls and access brain. Tissue marks a turning point in human evolution. Archaeological sites show skull fragments with characteristic damage patterns from intentional opening to access the brain inside. This wasn't occasional behavior. This was systematic, repeated, clearly valued. Your ancestors understood this was the most important food they could possibly consume. Let yourself sink even deeper now. Your own brain producing alpha and theta waves, the slow rhythms of deep relaxation and early sleep. Your neurons firing less frequently, your mental chatter quieting, your consciousness preparing for the restoration that sleep provides. This is exactly right. This is exactly where you should be. Modern people trying to support brain health take fish oil supplements, prescription omega-3s, phospholipid supplements, all trying to replicate what should come from food. The supplements help, certainly, but they're processed, oxidized during manufacturing, missing cofactors, lacking the completeness of the original. Your ancestors had the original, the best. The perfect form provided by millions of years of coevolution between predator and prey, between consumer and consumed. They didn't need supplements because their food was complete. They didn't worry about cognitive decline because their brains were supported from conception through old age. As you drift towards sleep, let your brain rest completely. Let it know it's safe to power down, to enter restoration mode, to stop vigilance and simply be. The ancient wisdom is holding you. The knowledge that human brains can remain sharp and clear across a full lifespan if properly nourished. The possibility that what worked for your ancestors might still hold truth for you. Sleep now. Let your beautiful, complex, miraculous brain rest. It's carried you through this day. It's processed thousands of pieces of information. It's made countless decisions. It deserves this rest. And as you sleep, perhaps some part of it is remembering the ancient wisdom about how brains can be truly nourished, truly supported, truly allowed to function at their full, magnificent potential. There's something modern culture has lost, something your ancestors understood deeply, that shapes not just nutrition, but the entire relationship between humans and food. Let your breathing slow even further as we explore the sacred dimension of consuming life, the reverence that transformed eating from mere fueling into ceremony, into connection, into spiritual practice. Your body is so relaxed now, so open. You've drifted into that beautiful space where the boundaries between you and the story blur, where ancient wisdom doesn't feel like information, but like memory returning home. Stay here. This is perfect. When your ancestors killed an animal, they didn't simply butcher it and eat. They performed ceremony. They offered gratitude to the animal's spirit. They acknowledged the profound truth that life sustains life, that this exchange is the fundamental dynamic of existence on Earth. The animal gave its life so the tribe could continue. This gift deserved recognition, respect, honoring. Picture the scene now. The successful hunt complete. The animal lying before the circle of humans. Before anyone cuts into flesh, someone speaks. Words of thanks, words of acknowledgement, words recognizing that this creature ran and breathed and lived, and now its life force will become theirs. There's no shame here, no guilt, no cognitive dissonance, just clear-eyed acceptance of their place in the web of life. This psychological relationship to food, this absence of guilt and shame, actually affected how their bodies digested what they consumed. Modern psychoneuroimmunology, the study of how thoughts and emotions affect immune and digestive function, has discovered what your ancestors knew instinctively. When you eat with gratitude and peace, your parasympathetic nervous system engages. Digestive enzymes flow freely. Blood goes to your gut. Nutrients are absorbed optimally, but when you eat with guilt, shame, stress, or fear, your sympathetic nervous system activates. Digestion shuts down. Blood leaves your gut and goes to muscles for fight or flight.
Enzyme production decreases.
Nutrient absorption plummets. You can eat the most nutritious food in the world, but if you eat it in a state of stress or shame, your body can't use it properly. Your ancestors consumed raw meat with complete peace. No voice in their heads saying this was wrong, unhealthy, unethical. No confusion about whether animal foods were good or bad. They knew with the certainty that only lived experience across countless generations can provide that this was right, necessary, good. And their bodies responded with perfect digestion and assimilation. Feel how relaxed your own gut is right now as you rest. Notice how breathing deeply and feeling peaceful affects your entire abdominal area. This is your parasympathetic nervous system allowing your digestive organs to function optimally. This is what your ancestors experienced at every meal, complete nervous system permission to digest, to assimilate, to be nourished. Modern people live in constant low-level stress about food. Is this healthy? Will this make me gain weight? Is this ethical? Am I eating too much? Too little? The wrong things? This psychological warfare with food creates digestive chaos regardless of what's actually being eaten. Even people eating perfectly healthy food can't digest it properly if they're eating in a state of anxiety. Your ancestors had none of this confusion. Food was simple. Food was trusted. Food was a gift from the earth, and the animals consumed with gratitude, used by their bodies with complete efficiency. The simplicity itself was healing. Watch them now as they eat that raw meat, still warm from the kill. Their faces show contentment, satisfaction, peace. They're not worried about the next meal or the meal after that. They're fully present with this meal, this moment, this gift. This presence, this complete being here now, is its own form of nourishment, feeding something beyond the physical body. Let yourself feel that presence now. Just for this moment, let go of past and future. Be here, breathing, resting, existing in this eternal now where your ancestors still live, where their wisdom still speaks, where the separation between then and now dissolves like morning mist. The reverence your ancestors felt wasn't religious in the modern sense. It was deeper than religion. It was recognition of reality. They were predators. This was their nature. They consumed life to sustain life. This wasn't shameful. This was the design of existence itself. Plants consume earth and sun. Herbivores consume plants. Predators consume herbivores. Each level supports the next. Each death enables more life. This is the sacred circle, the way of things. Modern people, especially in developed nations, are removed from this reality. Meat comes in plastic packages from stores. The life that was lived and given is invisible. This disconnection creates psychological problems that manifest as eating disorders, food anxiety, moral confusion about diet. Your ancestors, intimately connected to the source of their food, had none of these problems. They understood something else too, that consuming an animal's flesh was a form of honoring it. By using every part, wasting nothing, allowing that animal's body to become human bodies, they continued the animal's existence in new form. The antelope's strength became the hunter's strength. The animal's life force transferred into human life force. This wasn't superstition. This was understanding the fundamental unity of all life. Feel that unity now as you breathe. The oxygen entering your lungs was produced by plants. The carbon you exhale feeds plants. The water in your cells has cycled through countless organisms before you. You are not separate from nature. You are nature, in human form, participating in exchanges as old as life itself. Your ancestors eating raw meat warm from the kill weren't being primitive or disgusting. They were participating in the most intimate form of connection with other life, taking it into themselves, literally making another creature's body into their own body through the miracle of digestion and assimilation. This is profound.
This is sacred.
This deserves reverence, not revulsion. Let your breathing deepen even more. Feel yourself sinking like a stone through water, moving through layers of consciousness toward the deep rest where restoration happens. The ancient reverence is holding you, reminding you that eating is sacred, that nourishing yourself is honoring the life that sustains yours, that there's no shame in being what you are, a human animal who requires food to live. Modern spiritual practices talk about gratitude, about honoring your food, about mindful eating, but they're trying to recreate what your ancestors simply lived. The reverence wasn't something they added to eating. It was inherent in their relationship with food, with animals, with life itself. They didn't need to remind themselves to be grateful. They were grateful automatically because they understood the gift they'd been given. As you drift towards sleep now, let yourself release any shame or guilt you carry about food, about eating, about nourishing yourself. Your ancestors give you permission to eat without conflict. Nature gives you permission to be what you are. Your body gives you permission to feed it what it needs. You are not bad or wrong for wanting what your cells require. You are perfectly, beautifully, necessarily alive. Sleep now in the peace of this knowing. The sacred act of consuming life continues even as you rest, your body consuming stored energy, breaking down and rebuilding cells, maintaining the life force that makes you conscious, capable, here.
It's all sacred, all of it.
From the ancient hunters eating raw meat, to you breathing quietly in the dark.
All sacred.
All necessary, all exactly right. Rest in this knowing. Sleep in this peace. You are held by the same forces that held your ancestors. You are part of the same circle.
You are home.
There's a lie modern culture tells about the past, that life was brutal and short, that people died young, that reaching old age is a modern privilege made possible by medicine and technology. Let your mind settle deeper as we explore the truth your ancestors lived, the longevity they achieved, the vitality they maintained into ages that would shock most people today. Your breathing is so slow now it's almost imperceptible. Just tiny sips of air, keeping life flowing through you. Perfect. This is the rhythm of deep rest, deep receptivity, deep learning. Stay here. As we journey further into ancient wisdom, archaeological evidence tells a different story than the myth of short, ancient lives. Yes, infant mortality was higher. Yes, accidents and infections could be fatal. But your ancestors who survived childhood often lived into their 70s, 80s, even 90s. And unlike modern elderly people existing on medications and medical interventions, your ancestors remained functional, vital, contributing members of their communities until very near the end. The skeletal evidence is clear. Bones from Ice Age humans show remarkable health. Minimal arthritis compared to modern populations. Strong bone density even in very old individuals. Intact teeth in skulls that show signs of advanced age. Healed fractures demonstrating that injured people survived, recovered, lived long lives afterward. These weren't genetic flukes. These were entire communities achieving something modern medicine considers rare, true, healthy longevity. Picture an 80-year-old grandmother alive 50,000 years ago. She wakes with the sunrise, her joints stiff perhaps, but becoming fluid as she moves. She helps prepare food for the morning meal. She watches young children while their mothers gather plants. She teaches teenage girls how to identify useful herbs, how to prepare hides, how to understand the rhythms of women's bodies. Her mind remains sharp. Her knowledge is invaluable. She is respected, cherished, needed. Feel the difference between this elder and modern 80-year-olds warehoused in care facilities, their bodies failing from decades of poor nutrition and sedentary living, their minds clouded by medications, their spirits broken by being treated as burdens rather than treasures. Your ancestor grandmother had purpose, community, and the physical health to fulfill her role. What made the difference? How did they achieve this when they lacked antibiotics, surgeries, or modern medical technology? The answer is simple yet profound. They prevented the chronic diseases that plague modern people. They didn't need to treat diabetes, heart disease, cancer, dementia, autoimmune conditions, because these diseases didn't exist in their populations. Not at the rates modern people experience, not even close, and the prevention was nutritional. The raw animal foods they consumed daily provided everything their bodies needed to maintain function across a full lifespan. The nutrients we've explored together tonight, enzymes, beneficial bacteria, vitamins, minerals, compounds cooking destroys, these weren't occasional additions to their diet. These were consumed at every meal, supporting cellular health from conception through old age. Let yourself imagine living this way. Imagine your body maintaining itself automatically because you're providing the raw materials it needs. Imagine reaching 60, 70, 80 and still feeling strong, capable, engaged with life.
This isn't fantasy.
This is documented human potential, achieved by your ancestors, possible for you if you remember the wisdom. Modern hunter-gatherer peoples still eating traditional diets show us this pattern continues. The Hadza of Tanzania, consuming significant amounts of raw meat and organs, maintain remarkable health into old age. The traditional Inuit, before Western influence, regularly lived into their 70s and 80s with minimal chronic disease. The Maasai, drinking raw milk and blood, show cardiovascular health that astounds Western researchers. The common factor? Traditional diets including significant raw animal foods. When these populations adopt Western processed foods and cooking methods, chronic disease appears within a generation. The difference isn't genetics, it's nutrition. It's that simple and that profound. Your body is built to last 8, 9, even 10 decades if properly supported. Every cell contains instructions for maintaining itself across that time span. But maintenance requires materials. Just as a building needs ongoing repairs, new lumber, fresh paint, replacement parts, your body needs continuous supplies of nutrients to repair and rebuild. Your ancestors provided those nutrients daily. Modern people, eating cooked and processed foods depleted of critical compounds, starve their bodies while consuming plenty of calories. The body struggles along, doing its best, but gradually things break down. Joints fail, arteries clog, cells become cancerous. Not because aging is inherently degenerative, but because nutrition has been inadequate for decades. Feel your own body now, whatever age you are. It's done its best with what you've given it. It's survived despite nutritional challenges. It's maintained you through years of living.
Can you feel gratitude for this?
Can you appreciate how hard your body works every moment to keep you alive and functional? Your ancestor grandmother at 80 was grateful for her body too. Grateful it had carried her through 8 decades. Grateful it still worked well enough to contribute. Grateful for the foods that had sustained her, the raw meat and organs that had provided perfect nutrition from birth through old age. The centenarians of the Ice Age weren't rare exceptions. They were natural results of proper human nutrition and lifestyle. They walked miles daily, keeping cardiovascular systems strong. They worked with their hands, maintaining dexterity and strength. They remained socially engaged, supporting cognitive function. They consumed nutrient-dense raw foods, providing everything their cells needed. Let yourself sink even deeper now, drifting on currents of ancient wisdom. Your breath barely moving air. Your heartbeat slow and steady. Your mind quiet, receptive, absorbing truth that lives in your very DNA. This is how your ancestors rested after days of living fully, their bodies satisfied, their cells nourished, their sleep deep and restorative. Modern anti-aging medicine searches for interventions, drugs, hormones, genetic modifications, anything to extend lifespan and health span. But your ancestors achieved naturally what modern science struggles to replicate artificially. The secret wasn't complicated. It wasn't hidden. It was simple. Eat real food in forms your body evolved to process, move your body naturally, remain connected to community, rest fully. Imagine yourself at 80 like that grandmother.
Still walking.
Still thinking clearly. Still participating. Still valued. Still vital. This is your genetic potential waiting to be unlocked by the right nutritional support. The possibility lives in every cell just as it lived in your ancestors' cells. As sleep takes you deeper, let this possibility settle into your subconscious. Let your body hear the message that longevity with vitality is your birthright. Let your cells remember they're designed to last, to function, to serve you well across a long life.
Trust this, know this.
Let it reshape how you think about aging, about your future, about your potential. The ancient centenarians sleep with you now, their presence surrounding you across time, their wisdom available to you, their success proving what's possible when humans live in alignment with their biological design. You are not separate from them. You are their continuation, their legacy, their hope made flesh. Sleep now in the peace of knowing that longevity with health is not just possible, but natural. Sleep knowing your body wants to serve you well for decades. Sleep knowing the wisdom exists to support this. You are held by ancient truth. You are safe. You are exactly where you belong. Rest deeply. Dream peacefully. Let cellular restoration happen as it has for hundreds of thousands of years. You are an ancient being in modern form, carrying the same potential your ancestors lived, capable of the same vitality if you remember the way home. Deep within your body right now, while you rest here in perfect safety, an army works tirelessly to protect you. White blood cells patrol your bloodstream.
Antibodies mark invaders for destruction.
Immune cells distinguish between self and other, between harmless and harmful, between life-supporting and life-threatening. This system, magnificently complex, kept your ancestors alive through challenges that would kill most modern people. Let's discover why their immunity was so powerful. Your breath is like silk sliding through your lungs now.
So gentle, so easy.
Each exhale releases you deeper into rest. Each inhale brings you closer to ancient wisdom about how human immunity is meant to function when properly supported. Your ancestors faced daily immune challenges modern people rarely encounter. Wounds from hunting, exposure to parasites, bacterial loads from environments without sanitation. Yet they didn't suffer the constant infections, the chronic immune dysfunction, the autoimmune conditions that plague modern populations. Their immune systems worked at a level of efficiency that seems almost superhuman today. But it wasn't superhuman. It was properly human. Human immunity functioning with optimal nutritional support. Raw meat provided compounds that most modern people never consume. Immunoglobulins, antibodies, from the animal's own immune system that could educate and support human immunity. Lactoferrin, a protein that binds iron, making it unavailable to pathogenic bacteria, starving them. Transfer factors, tiny messenger molecules that transfer immunity information between organisms, teaching your immune cells what threats exist and how to respond. Picture your ancestor cutting into fresh meat, warm from a recent kill. As they consume it raw, these immune-supporting compounds enter their system intact. Cooking would destroy them, heat denatures proteins, breaks down complex molecules, eliminates the biological activity that makes these compounds effective. But raw, they're potent, active, ready to support human immunity. Feel how your body relaxes deeper, knowing it has this ancient wisdom of immune support. Your own immune system, working right now while you rest, is doing its best with what you've provided. Even if it's not perfect, even if you get sick sometimes, it's protecting you every moment. Billions of immune cells making trillions of decisions, keeping you alive without you consciously directing any of it. Your ancestors' immune systems were even more efficient.
Watch an ancestor warrior sustain a wound during a hunt, a deep cut on his arm from a bone fragment.
In modern people lacking proper immune nutrition, such a wound could easily become infected, potentially fatally. But watch how quickly his body responds. Blood clots perfectly. Inflammation arrives precisely, then resolves cleanly. New tissue forms without excessive scarring. Within weeks, the wound is healed completely, leaving him as functional as before. This wasn't luck or superior genetics. This was an immune system operating at peak efficiency because it had everything it needed. The raw meat he'd consumed his entire life had provided the building blocks for robust white blood cell production. The raw organ meats had supplied the zinc, selenium, vitamin A, and other nutrients critical for immune function. The raw fats had created healthy cell membranes that communicated signals effectively. Let your breathing become even softer now, barely moving, as we explore the protective power of a diverse microbiome fed by raw foods. Remember those billions of bacteria in your ancestors' gut? They weren't passive passengers. They were active defenders, producing antimicrobial compounds, competing with pathogens for space and resources, training the immune system to respond appropriately to real threats while ignoring harmless substances. Modern people's depleted gut microbiomes can't provide this same level of protection. Their beneficial bacteria, insufficient in number and diversity, can't crowd out pathogens effectively. This is why food poisoning is so common now. Not because food is inherently more dangerous, but because modern guts lack the robust bacterial protection that was standard in your ancestors. Your ancestors could eat raw
meat with minimal risk because their internal
ecosystems were so healthy that pathogenic bacteria couldn't establish footholds. This is called competitive exclusion, and it's one of the most important protective mechanisms in nature. When beneficial organisms vastly outnumber harmful ones, the harmful ones can't multiply even when introduced. Feel yourself drifting even deeper now into layers of consciousness where cellular memory lives, where your body remembers the protection it once had, the robust immunity that was human standard for hundreds of thousands of years. This memory isn't gone. It's dormant, waiting for the right signals to reactivate. Raw bone marrow was consumed frequently by your ancestors. This fatty tissue inside bones is where blood cells are produced, including immune cells. Raw bone marrow contains compounds that support the production of new, white blood cells, compounds largely destroyed by cooking. Your ancestors, cracking bones and consuming the marrow within, were literally eating immune system support. Traditional cultures worldwide considered raw animal foods medicinal for immune weakness. Inuit grandmothers fed raw seal liver to sick children. African tribes gave raw blood to people recovering from illness. Asian cultures consumed raw fish and meat for vitality and resistance to disease. This wasn't cultural quirk, it was accumulated wisdom about what genuinely supports human immunity. Modern immunology is beginning to understand what your ancestors knew instinctively. Raw foods contain compounds with immunomodulating properties, substances that help balance immune response, calming it when it's overactive, autoimmunity, stimulating it when it's insufficient, infection susceptibility. Cooking destroys many of these delicate compounds, leaving modern people with immune systems that often swing between the extremes, overreacting to harmless substances like pollen or gluten, while underreacting to actual pathogens. Your ancestors' immune systems maintained perfect balance. They didn't develop the allergies that plague modern children. They didn't suffer autoimmune conditions where the body attacks its own tissues. They fought infections effectively when they occurred, then returned to baseline without chronic inflammation. This wasn't genetic superiority. This was nutritional adequacy creating immunological balance. Watch an elder ancestor, perhaps 75 years old, still vigorous despite a lifetime of exposure to infectious agents. His immune system has been trained by decades of diverse microbial exposure and supported by daily raw food nutrition. He has immunological memory against countless pathogens. His immune cells respond quickly and appropriately. He rarely gets sick, and when he does, he recovers quickly. Let your own immune system rest now as you rest. It's been working hard all day, identifying threats, clearing cellular debris, maintaining vigilance. As you sleep, it will work even harder, conducting repairs, producing new immune cells, consolidating immunological memory. Trust this process. Your body knows how to protect itself if given the resources it needs. Your ancestors never worried about their immune systems. They trusted their bodies completely because their bodies had never betrayed that trust. Fed properly, rested sufficiently, moved naturally. They maintained immune function that kept them alive through conditions that would overwhelm most modern people within days. As you drift toward the deepest rest, let yourself feel protected by this ancient wisdom. Let yourself imagine having immunity so robust that minor infections resolve quickly, that wounds heal cleanly, that your body distinguishes perfectly between threats and harmless exposures. This is your potential. This is what your immune system wants to be if properly supported. The raw meat your ancestors consumed wasn't just food. It was immune medicine consumed daily, providing a steady stream of compounds that kept their defensive systems operating at peak efficiency. The wisdom is still here, still available, still whispering to you through your DNA that knows exactly what human immunity needs to thrive. Sleep now in the safety of this knowing. Sleep protected by ancient wisdom about immune strength. Sleep, trusting that your body is working every moment to keep you safe, doing its magnificent best with what you've provided. You are guarded by forces more powerful than you realize, held by intelligence older than conscious thought, protected by the same biological wisdom that kept your ancestors alive for hundreds of thousands of years. Rest deeply, dream peacefully. Let your immune system do its work while consciousness fades. You are safe.
You are held.
You are exactly where ancient protection surrounds you. Sleep now, knowing that health and vitality are your birthright, waiting to be claimed through the wisdom your body has never forgotten. Your breathing is barely a whisper now, so soft, so gentle. Let it stay that way as we explore something that will make you smile inside, the perfect teeth your ancestors maintained without ever visiting a dentist, without brushing, without flossing, without any of the dental interventions modern people consider essential. Archaeological evidence stuns modern dentists when they examine ancient skulls. All 32 teeth present and accounted for. Minimal wear despite decades of use.
No cavities eating through enamel.
No abscesses from root infections.
Perfect alignment, no crowding, no impacted wisdom teeth.
Jaws broad and well developed, providing ample space for every tooth. This wasn't rare. This was standard. This was what human dental health looked like when nutrition supported it properly. Picture an ancient skull in a researcher's hands, perhaps belonging to someone who lived 60 years, 6,000 years ago. The scientist expects to see the dental disasters common in modern populations: missing teeth, cavities, gum disease, malformed jaws. Instead, they find perfection. Every tooth strong, intact, positioned correctly. The mystery isn't why ancient people had good teeth. The mystery is why modern people don't. Feel your own tongue exploring your teeth now, gently, without effort. However your teeth are, perfect or imperfect, complete or incomplete, they've served you well. But imagine if they could be stronger, healthier, lasting your entire life without decay or pain. Your ancestors lived this reality not through superior dental care, but through superior nutrition. Raw meat consumption required significant chewing. This wasn't a problem, it was a benefit. The mechanical stress of chewing raw, tough foods stimulated jawbone development. Bones respond to stress by becoming stronger, denser. Your ancestors' jaws grew broad and robust because they were used vigorously from childhood. Modern people eating soft, processed foods never develop full jaw potential. Their jaws remain narrow, providing insufficient space for all their teeth, leading to crowding and the need for orthodontics. But mechanical stimulation was only part of the story. The raw organs your ancestors consumed, especially liver, kidney, and heart, contained concentrated amounts of fat-soluble vitamins A, D, and K2. These three vitamins work together in what researchers call the calcium metabolism trio. Vitamin D helps absorb calcium from food. Vitamin A ensures it's utilized properly. Vitamin K2 directs calcium into bones and teeth, where it belongs, and keeps it out of soft tissues like arteries, where it causes damage. Let yourself drift even deeper as we explore this elegant nutritional symphony. Your ancestors consuming raw liver got massive doses of true vitamin A, not the plant precursor beta-carotene that many people convert poorly, but preformed retinol that works immediately. They got vitamin D from organ meats and sun exposure. They got K2 in the MK4 form, the type most effectively directing calcium into dental structures. The result? Teeth that were essentially impervious to decay. Enamel so hard that bacteria couldn't penetrate it. Dentin beneath the enamel that remained vital and alive. Roots embedded in dense jawbone. Gums healthy and pink, tightly adhered to tooth surfaces. This wasn't genetic luck. This was biochemistry working perfectly when given the raw materials it needs. Dr. Weston Price, a dentist in the early 20th century, traveled the world studying traditional peoples still eating ancestral diets. He documented population after population with nearly perfect dental health, no cavities, broad facial development, straight teeth. Then he studied their children who had adopted Western processed foods. Within one generation, dental disasters appeared.
Narrow faces, crowded teeth, rampant cavities.
The difference wasn't genetics. Parents and children were genetically identical. The difference was nutrition. Feel your jaw muscles relaxing completely now. Let your mouth fall slightly open if it wants to. Release any tension you hold in your face, your temples, your jaw joints. Your ancestors' jaws were relaxed and strong simultaneously. No grinding, no clenching, no TMJ dysfunction, because proper mineral status kept everything functioning smoothly. Raw meat also provided phosphorus in the perfect ratio with calcium. Teeth need both minerals, and they need them balanced. Too much calcium without adequate phosphorus creates weak, chalky structures. Your ancestors got the balance nature designed, the same ratio found in healthy tooth enamel, because they ate complete animals, not isolated nutrients in supplements. The fat in raw meat and organs delivered those critical vitamins to their destinations. Vitamins A, D, and K2 are fat-soluble, meaning they need fat to be absorbed and utilized. Your ancestors, eating raw organ meats with their natural fat content, got perfect delivery systems for perfect nutrients. Modern people taking isolated vitamin supplements without adequate fat often can't absorb them, wasting money and remaining deficient. Watch a young ancestor child, perhaps 5 years old, gnawing on a piece of raw cartilage.
This isn't cute, it's crucial.
The chewing stimulates their developing jaw bones. The nutrients in the cartilage support the formation of strong tooth enamel. Their adult teeth forming in the jaw beneath their baby teeth are being built with perfect raw materials. When those adult teeth emerge years later, they'll be dense, white.
Strong teeth that will last a lifetime. Your own teeth, whatever their condition,
Were built from what your body had available during your childhood development. If you had dental problems growing up, cavities, crowding, weak enamel, this wasn't your fault or your parents' fault. This was nutritional insufficiency, likely going back generations, depleting families of the nutrients needed for perfect dental development. But your ancestors had these nutrients in abundance.
every meal provided them.
Every day reinforced dental health. And the result was populations where dental pain was virtually unknown, where losing teeth was rare, where smiles remained beautiful and functional into old age. Let yourself sink deeper still, into that place where your body remembers what perfect health feels like, where your cells know they're designed to build and maintain strong structures, where your DNA carries instructions for creating teeth that last a lifetime without intervention. The wisdom hasn't been lost. It's dormant, waiting for the right nutritional signals to reactivate. Traditional peoples consuming raw or traditionally prepared animal foods maintain this dental perfection into modern times, as long as they maintain traditional diets. The Inuit with their raw fish and seal, the Maasai with their raw milk and blood, the Swiss villagers Dr. Price studied, consuming raw dairy and meat, all showed the same pattern, perfect dental health correlating with traditional raw animal food consumption. As your consciousness drifts towards sleep, let any dental anxiety dissolve. Let your teeth rest in your relaxed jaw. Let your mouth soften. Your ancestors never feared dental pain because it rarely occurred. Their relationship with their teeth was peaceful, trusting, like their relationship with their entire bodies, fed properly, functioning properly, serving them reliably across a full lifespan. The wisdom of dental health through raw nutrition is still true,
Still available.
still waiting in your cellular memory. You don't need to do anything with this knowledge right now. Just let it rest inside you like a seed, germinating quietly, ready to grow when conditions are right. For now, just rest.
Just breathe.
Just let ancient wisdom about perfect teeth cradle you deeper into the sleep your body needs. Your ancestors sleep with you. their perfect smiles shining across time, their dental wisdom flowing through generations, arriving here now.
In you, their descendant, their continuation.
Their hope for remembering what was almost forgotten. Deep in the quiet of this moment, as your body rests and your mind drifts, let's explore something profound about your ancestors' mental and emotional health. They experienced grief when loved ones died. They felt fear when predators threatened. They knew anger, sadness, frustration, the full range of human emotion. But they didn't suffer the epidemic of depression, anxiety, and mental illness that characterizes modern populations. Let's discover why. Your breathing is so slow now, so peaceful, each breath barely moving your chest.
This is perfect.
This is exactly the state where truth can settle deepest, where wisdom can root itself in the soil of your subconscious. Stay here with me as we journey into the neuroscience of ancestral mental health. Your brain is an electrochemical miracle, producing thoughts, emotions, memories, consciousness itself through the interaction of billions of neurons and trillions of synapses. But this miracle depends entirely on having the right raw materials. Neurotransmitters, the chemical messengers that allow neurons to communicate, must be constantly produced from amino acids, vitamins, and minerals. When these building blocks are abundant, your brain produces balanced amounts of serotonin, dopamine, GABA, norepinephrine, the molecules of mood, motivation, calm, and alertness. Your ancestors consumed every nutrient the brain needs to produce these neurotransmitters in optimal ratios. Raw meat provided all essential amino acids in complete form. Tryptophan, which converts to serotonin, the molecule of contentment and well-being. Tyrosine, which becomes dopamine, and norepinephrine, the molecules of motivation and focus. Glycine and taurine, which support GABA production, the brain's primary calming neurotransmitter. Feel your own brain now as you rest, that 3-pound universe between your ears, producing the consciousness experiencing these words. It's doing its best with what you've given it. If you struggle with low mood sometimes, with anxiety, with difficulty concentrating, this isn't character weakness or mental defect. This is often nutritional insufficiency at the neurochemical level. Your ancestors' brains had everything they needed. The raw organ meats they consumed, especially liver, heart, and kidney, provided massive amounts of B vitamins crucial for methylation, the biochemical process that produces and regulates neurotransmitters. B12, folate, B6, riboflavin, niacin, all present in raw organs in their most bioavailable forms. Cooking destroys or significantly reduces these heat-sensitive vitamins. Your ancestors got them intact, potent, ready to support optimal brain chemistry. Watch an ancestor processing difficult emotions, perhaps mourning a death in the tribe. She feels the grief fully, deeply, authentically. Tears flow. Her chest aches with loss. But underneath the grief is a baseline stability, a fundamental okayness that never completely disappears. Her brain chemistry, supported by optimal nutrition, her entire life maintains emotional resilience even through legitimate suffering. She can feel fully without being overwhelmed. She can grieve without becoming depressed. This is emotional health at its peak, the ability to feel the full range of human experience while maintaining psychological stability. Modern people often lack this capacity. Their baseline brain chemistry is already compromised by nutritional deficiency, so even minor stressors push them into dysfunction. Anxiety becomes chronic. Sadness becomes clinical depression. Normal stress becomes debilitating. Let your own emotional state settle even further now. Whatever you felt today, stress, worry, sadness, frustration, let it soften as you breathe. Your brain is working to rebalance itself right now, doing its best to produce calm and peace. Trust this process. Your nervous system knows how to return to baseline if you give it space and stillness. Raw meat also provided iron in heme form, the type most efficiently absorbed and used.
Iron is essential for dopamine production.
Low iron, common especially in women, directly causes depression, anxiety, and cognitive dysfunction. Your ancestor women, consuming raw meat and organs, maintained optimal iron status despite monthly menstrual blood loss. Modern women, often iron deficient from inadequate dietary intake and poor absorption of plant-based iron, struggle with mood problems directly related to this deficiency. Zinc is another nutrient critical for mental health, required for serotonin receptor function and for hundreds of enzymatic reactions in the brain. Raw oysters and red meat are the best sources. Your ancestors consuming these foods regularly maintained zinc status that protected against depression and supported optimal cognitive function. Modern people, especially those avoiding red meat, often have subclinical zinc deficiency that manifests as low mood, poor concentration, and emotional instability. Feel how your mind is quieting even more now, thoughts becoming softer, less insistent, like clouds dissolving into sky. This mental peace was your ancestors' baseline state, not because they lacked problems or challenges, but because their brains had the biochemical support to maintain equilibrium through life's natural ups and downs. The omega-3 fatty acids in raw fish, raw organ meats and raw brain tissue provided the specific fats that make up brain cell membranes. These membranes need to remain fluid, flexible, responsive, and omega-3s provide this fluidity. Inflammation in the brain, now recognized as a major driver of depression, is prevented by adequate omega-3 intake. Your ancestors consuming these fats daily had anti-inflammatory protection that kept their brains functioning optimally. Modern nutritional psychiatry is rediscovering what your ancestors lived, that diet profoundly affects mental health. Studies show that traditional diets high in animal foods correlate with lower depression rates. Mediterranean populations eating fish, Inuit eating marine mammals, pastoral peoples consuming dairy and meat all show better mental health outcomes than Western populations eating processed foods. Watch an elder ancestor, perhaps 70 years old, still engaged with life, still finding joy in daily activities, still mentally sharp and emotionally balanced. His brain, supported by 7 decades of optimal nutrition, hasn't developed the neurodegenerative changes or neurochemical imbalances that plague many modern elderly people. He experiences appropriate emotions, happiness when something good happens, sadness when something unfortunate occurs, but he doesn't get stuck in dysfunctional mental states. Let yourself imagine this kind of emotional resilience. Imagine feeling your feelings fully while maintaining fundamental stability. Imagine having energy and motivation that arise naturally from balanced brain chemistry rather than from caffeine or willpower. This is your genetic potential, achievable when your brain receives the nutritional support it evolved to receive. Your ancestors never needed antidepressants, anti-anxiety medications, or mood stabilizers, not because mental suffering didn't exist, but because the biochemical foundations of mental health were solid. When everyone in a tribe is nutritionally supported, when brain chemistry is collectively optimal, mental illness becomes rare rather than epidemic. As you drift deeper into rest, let any mental tension dissolve. Let anxious thoughts float away like leaves on a stream. Let your brain chemistry begin its nightly rebalancing, producing melatonin to ease you into sleep, reducing cortisol to allow complete relaxation. Your brain knows how to do this. It's been doing it every night of your life. Tonight, as you connect with ancestral wisdom, perhaps it can work even more efficiently. The depression-free ancestors weren't emotionally shallow or naive. They were deeply human, feeling fully, living fully, but supported by nutrition that allowed their brains to function as designed. That same potential lives in you, in every neuron, in every synapse, waiting for the right nutritional signals to fully express itself. Sleep now in the peace of knowing that mental and emotional health are your birthright. Sleep, knowing your brain wants to produce balanced neurochemistry. Sleep trusting that the wisdom of feeding your mind properly is still accessible, still true, still waiting for you to remember. You are held by ancient knowledge about how brains can thrive.
Rest in this knowing.
Drift in this peace. You are exactly where you belong. Your body is so deeply relaxed now, so completely at ease. Stay in this beautiful stillness as we explore how your ancestors experienced stress, not as a chronic condition slowly destroying health, but as an acute response that activated powerfully, then resolved completely, leaving no lingering damage. The stress response itself isn't the problem. It's one of your body's most elegant survival mechanisms. When your ancestors faced a predator or a threat, their hypothalamus signaled their pituitary gland, which signaled their adrenal glands, which released cortisol and adrenaline. Heart rate increased, blood pressure rose, blood sugar spiked, all their body's resources mobilized for fight or flight. This response saved lives. It was perfect for acute dangers. The difference between your ancestors and modern people isn't the stress response itself, it's what happened after. Your ancestors' stresses were acute and time-limited. Once the lion was escaped, the conflict was resolved, the hunt was successful, the danger passed, their stress hormones dropped back to baseline. Their parasympathetic nervous system engaged. Their bodies returned to rest and digest mode. Recovery was complete. Feel your own body in this moment, already in parasympathetic dominance, already in rest mode. This is where your ancestors spent most of their time, calm, relaxed, conserving energy, allowing repair and restoration. The stress response was occasional, brief, followed by complete resolution. Modern people experience chronic stress, low level but constant activation of the stress response with insufficient recovery periods. Work deadlines, financial pressure, relationship conflicts, social media anxiety, traffic, news. The modern environment provides endless stress triggers with few opportunities for true resolution. Your stress hormones remain elevated day after day, week after week, year after year. Chronic stress depletes specific nutrients at accelerated rates. Magnesium, used in over 300 enzymatic reactions, including those managing stress, becomes deficient. B vitamins, essential for adrenal function, get burned through rapidly. Vitamin C, concentrated in your adrenal glands and used heavily during stress, becomes depleted. Your body's trying to manage chronic activation without sufficient raw materials for the job. Your ancestors replenished these nutrients daily through raw animal food consumption. Raw meat provided magnesium. Raw organs provided concentrated B vitamins. Raw adrenal glands consumed occasionally provided the exact compounds human adrenals need. They were nutritionally supported to handle stress when it occurred and recover completely afterward. Watch an ancestor facing danger, perhaps a close encounter with a predator. His stress response activates perfectly. His body performs exactly as needed. The danger passes, and then remarkably, within hours he's completely calm again. His cortisol has dropped. His heart rate is normal. His breathing is easy. He's sitting by the evening fire, relaxed as if nothing happened. This is the stress response working as designed, powerful activation, then complete resolution. Let your own nervous system relax even more deeply. Feel any residual tension draining away like water soaking into earth. Your body desperately wants to return to baseline, to experience that complete resolution your ancestors knew. Right now, as you rest here, you're giving it permission to do exactly that. The amino acids in raw meat supported stress resilience in another way. Glycine and taurine, abundant in connective tissue and organ meats, are calming amino acids that support GABA production and directly inhibit stress pathways. Modern people consuming only muscle meat miss these calming amino acids. Your ancestors, eating the whole animal, received natural anxiety reduction with every meal. Raw meat also provided cholesterol. And before you recoil, understand that cholesterol is the precursor to all your stress hormones. Your adrenal glands need cholesterol to produce cortisol. When dietary cholesterol is insufficient, your body must synthesize it internally, an energetically expensive process. Your ancestors consuming adequate cholesterol freed up their metabolic resources for other tasks. Feel your adrenal glands now, small organs sitting atop your kidneys, working constantly to help you manage stress, maintain energy, regulate blood pressure. They've been working hard for you, perhaps without adequate support.
Can you feel gratitude for them? Can you imagine feeding them properly as your ancestors did?
Modern adrenal fatigue, the exhaustion that comes from chronic stress without adequate recovery or nutrition, didn't exist in ancestral populations. They experienced acute stress, managed it effectively, recovered completely, and maintained robust adrenal function across their lifespans. The pattern was sustainable because it included both acute activation and complete rest. Your ancestors also had something modern people lack: true safety periods. When they rested in their tribal circle, protected by numbers, they could relax completely. No email might come in,
No phone might ring.
no alarm might go off. When rest time came, it was complete, uninterrupted, allowing their nervous systems to fully reset. Let yourself experience that quality of rest right now.
Nothing can interrupt you in this moment.
Nothing requires your immediate attention. You have permission to be completely offline, completely unavailable, completely at rest. Feel how your body responds to this permission. Feel your nervous system downshifting even more deeply. The adaptogenic compounds in raw organ meats, substances that help your body adapt to stress, provided additional support. Raw liver contains unique compounds that support energy production without triggering stress response. Raw heart, unsurprisingly, supports cardiovascular stress resilience. Traditional peoples instinctively fed specific organs to people recovering from specific stresses, matching nutritional medicine to need. Watch an ancestor woman who's just given birth, one of the most intense stresses a body can experience. The tribe feeds her raw liver, raw bone marrow, raw eggs. Within days, her strength returns. Within weeks, she's fully recovered. Her stress hormone levels normalize. Her energy returns. Her body has bounced back because it was given everything needed for complete recovery. Modern postpartum women, often told to avoid raw foods and not given organ meats, struggle for months or years to recover. Postpartum depression, anxiety, exhaustion. These are often nutritional depletion compounded by inadequate recovery support. Your ancestors understood instinctively that stressed bodies need concentrated nutrition. Feel your own stress melting away now like ice in sunlight. Feel your cortisol dropping, your adrenaline clearing, your entire system returning to peaceful baseline. This is what your body wants, what it's designed to do, what it will do naturally if given support and permission. Your ancestors' relationship with stress was healthy. They responded when necessary, recovered afterward, and didn't carry chronic tension in their bodies. Modern people's relationship with stress is pathological: chronic activation, insufficient recovery, nutritional depletion, resulting in burnout, anxiety disorders, and stress-related illness. But the capacity for healthy stress response still lives in you. Your HPA axis, hypothalamic pituitary adrenal axis, still wants to function properly. Your adrenals still want to produce hormones appropriately, then rest. Your nervous system still carries instructions for returning to peaceful baseline. The wisdom is dormant, not dead, waiting for conditions that allow it to activate. As you sink into even deeper rest, let your body demonstrate this wisdom. Let it show you how completely it can relax when given opportunity. Let your breath become so soft it barely moves air. Let your muscles become so loose they feel liquid. Let your mind become so quiet you can barely distinguish thoughts from silence. Your ancestors knew this peace intimately. They lived it daily, and you, their direct descendant, carry the same capacity in every cell, every neuron, every adrenal cell. The stress response that served them still serves you when used appropriately, when supported nutritionally, when followed by complete recovery.
Trust this. Know this.
Let it carry you deeper into the rest that heals everything. In the deep quiet of this moment, as your body rests in perfect stillness, let's explore the life force itself, the vitality, the fertility, The reproductive power that flowed through your ancestors like a river, undiminished from youth through middle age and beyond. This wasn't luck or genetics. This was the natural result of bodies receiving exactly what they needed to maintain the most fundamental biological function, the continuation of life itself. Your breathing is barely perceptible now, just the softest movement like a feather floating on air. Stay in this receptive state as we discover why your ancestors remained fertile and vital decades longer than most modern people. Your female ancestors menstruated regularly into their mid-40s. Their cycles remained consistent, ovulation reliable, hormone production balanced. Modern women often experience fertility decline starting in their 30s, irregular cycles, early menopause. The difference isn't how human bodies are designed, it's what those bodies receive nutritionally. Reproductive hormones, estrogen, progesterone, testosterone, are all built from cholesterol. Your ancestors consuming raw animal fats and organ meats rich in cholesterol provided their bodies with abundant hormone precursors. Modern women, often eating low-fat diets or avoiding animal foods, starve their endocrine systems of the raw material needed to produce adequate reproductive hormones. Picture an ancestral woman at 45, still cycling, still capable of bearing children if she chose.
Her skin remains elastic.
Her hair is thick.
Her energy is strong.
She doesn't experience the premature aging that modern women accept as inevitable. She looks and feels vital because at the hormonal and cellular level, she is vital. Feel the life force flowing through your own body right now as you rest. Even if you're not thinking about reproduction, even if that's not relevant to your current life, your body still maintains reproductive capacity as a marker of overall health. Healthy reproductive function means healthy hormone production, which affects everything: energy, mood, bone density, muscle mass, cognitive function, skin health. Your male ancestors maintained sexual function and fertility into their 60s and beyond. Archaeological and anthropological evidence shows men fathering children in their 7th decade. This wasn't unusual. This was normal when nutrition supported it. Their testosterone remained adequate because they consumed the cholesterol, zinc, vitamin D, and other nutrients testosterone production requires. Raw oysters, consumed by coastal ancestral populations, are extraordinarily high in zinc, the mineral most critical for male fertility and testosterone production. Raw red meat provides carnitine and CoQ10, both crucial for sperm health. Raw organ meats provide vitamin A and vitamin D, both necessary for testosterone synthesis. Your ancestors eating these foods maintained robust reproductive function across a full lifespan. Let yourself drift even deeper now into that place where your body's wisdom speaks loudest. Your reproductive system, even if you never use it to create children, is still a barometer of overall health. When reproductive hormones are balanced, everything works better. Sleep improves.
Mood stabilizes. Energy increases.
Cognitive function sharpens. The hormones of reproduction are the hormones of vitality itself. Modern fertility crises, declining sperm counts, increasing infertility, earlier menopause, are largely nutritional in origin. The specific nutrients most important for reproduction are concentrated in the exact foods modern people avoid: organ meats, egg yolks, full-fat dairy, fatty fish. Your ancestors consumed these freely, giving their reproductive systems everything needed to maintain function decade after decade. Watch an ancestral couple, both in their early 40s, conceiving a healthy child. This is their 6th child, born when many modern couples would consider themselves too old. But age is less relevant than biological age, and biological age is determined by nutritional status. Their bodies, fed properly for 4 decades, function as if younger. Their hormones remain balanced. Their fertility persists. Raw egg yolks, consumed by many traditional cultures, contain the entire nutrient package needed to create a baby chicken, all the fats, vitamins, minerals, and proteins necessary for life. Your ancestors understood instinctively that foods containing complete life force supported human life force. Women trying to conceive were fed raw egg yolks. Men needing vitality were given raw eggs. The concentrated nutrition supported reproductive function powerfully. Feel any tension in your pelvis, your lower abdomen, your reproductive organs. Let it dissolve completely. This area of your body holds so much creative power, life force, vitality. Modern people often carry tension here, disconnection from this part of themselves. Your ancestors remained connected to their reproductive power, honoring it, supporting it nutritionally, integrating it into their full sense of self. The fat-soluble vitamins we've discussed, A, D, and K2 are especially concentrated in reproductive tissues. Vitamin A supports the health of mucous membranes, including those in reproductive tracts. Vitamin D regulates hormone production and immune function in reproductive organs. K2 ensures calcium is available for the powerful muscular contractions of labor and birth. Your ancestors, consuming raw organ meats rich in these vitamins, supported every aspect of reproductive health. Modern women taking prenatal vitamins are trying to replicate what should come from food. But synthetic vitamins in supplements are poorly absorbed compared to natural vitamins in food, especially fat-soluble vitamins that require dietary fat for absorption. Your ancestors didn't need supplements because their food was complete, their nutrients bioavailable, their fat intake adequate for vitamin absorption. Watch an ancestral woman giving birth, supported by experienced elder women. Her labor progresses normally. Her body knows exactly what to do because it's been nutritionally prepared for this moment her entire life. Her bones are strong enough for the physical demands. Her muscles have the minerals needed for powerful contractions. Her nervous system has the nutrients to manage pain and produce the hormones orchestrating birth. She recovers quickly afterward because her body has reserves to draw on. Let your own vitality stir within you as you rest. Whatever your age, whatever your reproductive status, you still carry life force. You still have the capacity for creativity, for bringing things into being, for maintaining the energy and power that makes life engaging rather than just endurable. Your ancestors in their 50s and 60s remained sexually active, their libido intact because their hormone production remained adequate. Modern people often experience declining libido as they age, accepting it as inevitable. But it's not inevitable. It's nutritional insufficiency manifesting as hormonal decline. The solutions your ancestors had access to remain available for those willing to remember. Traditional aphrodisiacs from cultures worldwide, raw oysters, raw eggs, raw organ meats, raw honey, weren't superstition. They were foods genuinely supporting reproductive hormone production and sexual function. Modern science confirms these foods contain the exact nutrients the endocrine system needs. Your ancestors' folk wisdom was biochemically accurate. As you sink toward the deepest rest, let yourself feel grateful for your body's incredible capacity, for the hormones it produces every moment, for the life force it maintains even when you're not consciously thinking about it, for the vitality that persists despite nutritional challenges, stress, and everything modern life throws at it. Your body is remarkably resilient, doing its absolute best with what you've given it. The fertility and vitality your ancestors maintained wasn't superhuman. It was properly human. Human bodies functioning as designed when nutritionally supported across a full lifespan. That same potential lives in your cells, your hormones, your reproductive capacity, whether used or not. The wisdom is there, waiting, ready to express more fully when conditions allow. Sleep now knowing that vitality is your birthright. Sleep, knowing your hormones want to remain balanced. Sleep, knowing your life force flows through you even in rest, even in sleep, maintaining you, sustaining you, connecting you to the eternal river of life that has flowed through billions of humans before you. You are vital. You are alive. You are exactly as you should be. Rest in this knowing. Drift in this peace. Your body is like water now, completely liquid, without tension or resistance. Stay in this beautiful state of complete release as we explore the physical strength your ancestors possessed. Not the bulky, show muscles of modern bodybuilders, but dense, functional power that allowed them to walk 20 miles, hunt all day, carry heavy loads, and do it all again tomorrow without the concept of recovery days. Imagine a human body functioning at its full physical potential. Muscles dense and strong, capable of sustained effort for hours. Tendons like steel cables transferring force efficiently.
Ligaments providing stable yet mobile joints.
Bones thick and resilient, able to withstand tremendous impact. This wasn't just for elite athletes among your ancestors. This was baseline human physicality when nutrition supported it properly. Raw meat provided the complete amino acid profile necessary for muscle protein synthesis, i.e., 9 essential amino acids in optimal ratios. Your body can't produce these amino acids internally. They must come from food, and they must all be present simultaneously for your body to build muscle tissue. Plant proteins lack one or more essential amino acids or provide them in limiting amounts. Animal protein provides all of them completely, and raw animal protein provides them with no denaturation from cooking. Feel your own muscles now as they rest. Even completely relaxed, they maintain tone, position, readiness. Your muscles are working even as you lie still, your body defying gravity, maintaining structure. Imagine those muscles having every nutrient they need to grow stronger, repair completely, function optimally. This was your ancestors' reality every single day. Raw meat also provided creatine, a compound your body can synthesize but not in amounts optimal for peak physical performance. Creatine provides the immediate energy for explosive movements, sprinting, jumping, lifting. Your ancestors consuming 150 to 200 grams of creatine monthly from raw meat maintained saturated muscle creatine stores. Modern athletes take creatine supplements trying to achieve what your ancestors got from food. Watch an ancestral man carrying a fresh kill, perhaps 100 pounds of meat across several miles of rough terrain. His muscles don't fatigue quickly because they're loaded with creatine, carnosine, anserine, and taurine, all compounds abundant in raw meat that support muscular endurance and delay fatigue. He's not training for this ability. He's not following a workout program. He's simply capable because his body is nourished properly and used naturally. Let your breathing remain so soft, so gentle, barely disturbing the stillness. Your muscles are resting deeply now, recovering from today's activities, repairing micro tears, building themselves slightly stronger than they were this morning. This process happens every night if you give your body the raw materials it needs. Your ancestors provided those materials abundantly. Raw meat and organs also supplied carnitine, a compound that transports fatty acids into mitochondria, where they're burned for energy. This allows your muscles to use fat for fuel during sustained activity, preserving glycogen stores for when they're truly needed. Your ancestors' muscles were metabolically flexible, able to burn fat or carbohydrates as needed. Modern people, often metabolically inflexible from years of processed carbohydrate consumption, struggle with endurance because their muscles can't efficiently access fat stores. Picture an ancestral woman digging for roots, her arms and back working steadily for hours. She doesn't experience the muscle cramping modern people get because her magnesium, potassium, and sodium levels are optimal from consuming whole animals, including blood and organs. She doesn't need electrolyte supplements. Her food provides perfect mineral balance naturally. Raw organ meats, especially heart, provided CoQ10 in the ubiquinol form, the active antioxidant form that protects muscle tissue during intense activity and supports mitochondrial energy production. Your ancestors consuming raw heart, liver, and kidney maintained CoQ10 levels that prevented the oxidative muscle damage that causes prolonged soreness and slow recovery in modern people. Feel any residual tension in your own muscles releasing even more completely. Let your calves go soft. Let your thighs become heavy. Let your back muscles spread wide against whatever supports you. Your muscles deserve this rest.
They've carried you through this entire day.
Let them know you're grateful for their constant service. Your ancestors' children climbed trees with ease, their relatives' strength-to-weight ratio extraordinary. Modern children, even athletic ones, often struggle with basic bodyweight movements because their muscles aren't receiving optimal nutrition during developmental years. Raw eggs, raw dairy, raw meat. Traditional cultures fed growing children these foods to ensure proper development of muscle, bone, and connective tissue. The collagen and glycine from raw connective tissue supported tendon and ligament strength. These structures, which connect muscle to bone and stabilize joints, must be as strong as the muscles they serve. Your ancestors consuming whole animals, including tough, chewy parts, maintain connective tissue integrity that prevented the injuries modern athletes suffer constantly despite far less physical demand. Watch an elder ancestor, perhaps 65 years old, climbing a rocky hillside to reach a lookout point. His strength has diminished from his youth naturally, but he remains capable, functional, strong enough for all life's demands. He doesn't need assistance walking.
He doesn't fear falling.
His muscles, fed properly for 6 decades, maintain him reliably. Let yourself imagine maintaining this kind of strength across your lifespan. Not needing to be elite or exceptional, just consistently capable, reliably strong, able to move through life without physical limitation. This is what your body wants to provide you if given proper support. Raw meat provided leucine, the amino acid most responsible for triggering muscle protein synthesis. After meals containing adequate leucine, your body gets the signal to build new muscle tissue. Your ancestors consuming meat at most meals received regular leucine signals, keeping their bodies in constant muscle building or muscle maintaining mode throughout their lives. Modern people, especially as they age, often don't consume enough protein or leucine to trigger optimal muscle protein synthesis. Their bodies slowly lose muscle mass, sarcopenia, accepting it as inevitable aging. But it's not inevitable, it's nutritional insufficiency. Your ancestors maintained muscle into old age because they maintained adequate protein and leucine intake. Feel gratitude now for your body's strength, whatever level it's at. Whether you're athletic or not, your muscles serve you constantly. Standing, walking, lifting, breathing itself requires muscle. Your diaphragm is a muscle contracting rhythmically right now without conscious thought, keeping you alive breath by breath.
Honor this.
Appreciate this. Your body's strength is a gift you've had every moment of your life. The iron in raw meat supported myoglobin production, the protein in muscle tissue that stores oxygen for use during exertion. Your ancestors' muscles were rich in myoglobin, giving them the deep red color of well-oxygenated tissue and the endurance capacity for sustained physical work. Modern people's muscles, often iron deficient, can't store adequate oxygen, leading to quick fatigue. Raw meat also provided B vitamins crucial for converting food into ATP, the energy currency your muscles use. Without adequate B vitamins, even if you eat enough calories, your muscles can't access that energy efficiently. Your ancestors got complete B vitamin complexes from organ meats, supporting energy production that made sustained physical activity feel effortless. As you drift even deeper towards sleep, let your muscles rest completely.
They've earned this rest.
They've served you faithfully, and as you sleep they'll repair, rebuild, grow slightly stronger if you've used them, maintain themselves if you haven't. This nightly renewal is your birthright, happening automatically if you provide the raw materials needed. Your ancestors' strength wasn't achieved through hours in gyms. It was the natural result of bodies used regularly for normal activities and fed the complete nutrition muscle tissue requires. They didn't need protein powders, amino acid supplements, or recovery formulas. They had the original versions, whole, complete, bioavailable nutrients in raw animal foods. The wisdom of building and maintaining strength through proper nutrition is still true. Your muscles still respond to the same nutritional signals. Your body still wants to be strong, capable, reliable. The potential is there, waiting in every muscle fiber, ready to express more fully when conditions support it. Sleep now knowing your body is strong, knowing your muscles are working even in rest to maintain and protect you. Sleep knowing the ancestral wisdom about strength through nutrition is still accessible. Sleep trusting that your body, given what it needs, wants to serve you powerfully across your entire lifespan. You are stronger than you know.
Rest in this truth.
Drift in this peace. The night is deep now, so deep, and you're floating in perfect darkness, perfect peace. Let's explore how your ancestors lived in rhythm with nature's cycles, the daily rise and fall of the sun, the monthly phases of the moon, the seasonal abundance and scarcity, all integrated into their lives, their bodies, their understanding of what it means to be human on Earth. Your ancestors woke naturally with sunrise, no alarm needed. The increasing light triggered cortisol production, waking them gently, energetically. They moved through the day following natural energy patterns, active in morning and evening, resting during midday heat. They ate when hungry, which aligned with circadian rhythms of digestive enzyme production. As darkness fell, melatonin production increased naturally, making them sleepy. They slept long and deeply through the night, their bodies using darkness for restoration. Feel how simple this is, how elegant. Your body wants to follow these same rhythms. It produces hormones on circadian cycles, preparing you for activity during light, for rest during darkness. Modern life disrupts these patterns: artificial light at night, eating at random times, sleeping insufficient hours, working against natural rhythms. But your body still carries the ancient programming, still tries to synchronize with natural cycles despite the interference. Raw animal foods supported circadian health in ways modern people rarely understand. The cholesterol in animal fats is the precursor to vitamin D, which regulates circadian rhythms. The tryptophan in meat converts to serotonin during day, then to melatonin at night, creating natural sleep-wake cycles. The B vitamins support the enzymatic reactions underlying circadian biology. Your ancestors' nutrition supported their natural rhythms perfectly. Let your own body settle even deeper into its nighttime mode. Your core temperature dropping slightly, your digestive system slowing, your growth hormone beginning to rise, preparing for the cellular repair that happens during deep sleep. Your cortisol at its lowest point, allowing complete relaxation. This is your body following ancient programming, doing exactly what it's designed to do in darkness. Your ancestors also ate seasonally without thinking about it. Summer brought abundant plant foods, berries, roots, vegetables. They ate more carbohydrates during this season, their bodies storing summer's fat for leaner times ahead. Winter reduced plant availability dramatically. They ate primarily animal foods, raw meat, raw fat, stored foods. Their bodies adapted, becoming metabolically flexible, burning fat efficiently when carbohydrates were scarce. This metabolic flexibility, the ability to burn either fat or carbohydrates for energy depending on availability, kept your ancestors healthy through seasonal variation. Modern people eating the same processed foods year-round lose this flexibility. Their bodies become dependent on constant carbohydrate intake, unable to efficiently access fat stores. Your ancestors maintained flexibility through varied, seasonal eating patterns. Picture winter among your ancestors 50,000 years ago. Plant foods are scarce. The tribe relies heavily on hunting, on stores of dried meat and fat. They eat primarily animal foods for months. Their bodies produce ketones from fat metabolism, an alternate fuel their brains use efficiently. They remain strong, clear-minded, energetic despite limited food variety because they're metabolically adapted to this seasonal pattern. Feel your own body's potential for this kind of adaptation. You carry the same genetic programming for metabolic flexibility. Your body can burn fat efficiently if you allow it to remember how. The wisdom is dormant in your cells, waiting for the right nutritional signals to reactivate ancient pathways. Women's cycles synchronized with the moon in ancestral communities. Menstruation tended to occur with the new moon, ovulation with the full moon, creating tribal synchrony where women cycled together. This wasn't superstition, this was biology responding to lunar light cycles before artificial lighting disrupted these patterns. The raw foods they ate, rich in nutrients supporting hormonal health, allowed their endocrine systems to remain sensitive to subtle environmental cues. Let yourself feel connected to these ancient rhythms as you rest. The moon is out there right now, pulling on tides, influencing subtle biological processes, part of the natural world you belong to despite modern disconnection. Your body still responds to these cosmic rhythms more than your conscious mind realizes. Your ancestors' sleep patterns varied seasonally too. Longer sleep in winter when nights were long and activity was reduced. Shorter sleep in summer when days stretched long and work demanded more hours. They trusted their body's signals about how much rest was needed, sleeping without alarm clocks, waking when restored. Feel yourself sinking toward the deep sleep your body needs.
How many hours is enough?
Your body knows. It will wake you when restoration is complete if you let it, if you trust its wisdom like your ancestors trusted theirs. Tonight, as you sleep without pressure about when to wake, maybe you'll discover your body's natural rhythm. Raw animal foods eaten in their natural state supported hormonal balance that made following natural rhythms easy. The fat supported hormone production. The proteins provided amino acids for neurotransmitters. The minerals and vitamins supported every enzymatic reaction underlying circadian and seasonal biology. Your ancestors' bodies ran smoothly because all the gears were properly lubricated, all the systems properly supported. Modern people try to force their bodies into artificial schedules, working night shifts, staying awake under bright lights until midnight, eating 3 meals at scheduled times regardless of hunger, maintaining the same routine year-round. This creates metabolic chaos, hormonal disruption, chronic disease. Your body is trying to follow ancient programming while being forced into modern patterns. But right now, in this moment, you can return to natural rhythm.
You're resting in darkness.
Your body is following its circadian programming. Your melatonin is rising. Your nervous system is shifting toward parasympathetic dominance. For these hours of sleep, you're aligned with nature's cycles, just as your ancestors were. Let this alignment deepen. Feel yourself part of Earth's rotation, creating day and night. Part of the moon's phases, influencing subtle rhythms. Part of seasonal cycles, even if you can't see them through modern life. You belong to these patterns.
They live in you.
And when you align with them, even partially, everything works better. Sleep now in harmony with the ancient rhythms that sustained your ancestors for hundreds of thousands of years. Sleep knowing your body is designed for this, programmed for this, thriving when allowed to follow these patterns. You are not separate from nature. You are nature remembering itself, returning home. Rest in this truth. Drift in this peace. You are exactly where you belong. In the deep stillness of this moment, as sleep draws very near, let's explore something practical, something gentle, how you might apply ancestral wisdom in your modern life without pressure, without overwhelm, just possibilities waiting quietly for when you're ready. You don't need to replicate your ancestors' diet exactly. You don't need to eat only raw meat. You don't need to abandon everything modern. But perhaps there are small steps toward ancestral nourishment that feel right for you, that honor the wisdom we've explored tonight while respecting your current life circumstances. Raw egg yolks from pastured chickens are accessible to many modern people. These golden treasures contain concentrated nutrition in one of nature's most perfect forms, all the vitamins, minerals, and fats needed to create a baby chicken. Traditional cultures worldwide gave raw egg yolks to children, pregnant women, elderly people, anyone needing nourishment. You could add them to smoothies, eat them alone, incorporate them gently into your life. Feel how this possibility sits in your body as you rest. No pressure, no should, just possibility. Your ancestors would understand that you're working with different circumstances, different food systems, different challenges. They would honor any step you take toward remembering, toward nourishing yourself more completely. High-quality raw dairy, if you tolerate it, provides many benefits your ancestors received. Raw milk, raw cheese, raw kefir contain enzymes, beneficial bacteria, and bioavailable nutrients that pasteurization destroys. Many traditional cultures relied heavily on raw dairy as a staple food. Laws vary by location, but in many places raw dairy is accessible if you choose to explore it. Rare cooked meat provides middle ground, the center remaining nearly raw, while the exterior is seared. A rare steak delivers many heat-sensitive nutrients intact, while satisfying modern preferences for cooked food. Your ancestors would recognize this as respectful of the food, maintaining much of its nutritional value. Let yourself imagine incorporating one of these possibilities.
Not tomorrow necessarily. Not as obligation.
Just holding the option gently, like holding a seed, planting it in your consciousness to germinate whenever the time is right. Your body will tell you what it needs when you're ready to listen. Sashimi-grade fish, raw fish that's been frozen to kill parasites, offers access to raw marine nutrients. Traditional Japanese, Inuit, Nordic cultures consumed raw fish regularly. The omega-3s remain unoxidized. The enzymes stay active. The proteins remain intact. Adding raw fish to your diet even occasionally increases your access to ancestral nutrition. Organ meat supplements exist for people not ready to eat organs directly. Freeze-dried liver capsules, heart capsules, kidney capsules provide concentrated nutrition in convenient form. They're not as complete as eating fresh raw organs, but they're vastly better than avoiding organs entirely. Your ancestors would understand this compromise, feel how your body relaxes when presented with options rather than demands. You're not failing your ancestors by living in the modern world. You're honoring them by being curious about their wisdom, by considering their nutritional knowledge, by taking whatever steps feel right for you. Even understanding the history we've explored tonight changes something. When you crave rare meat, you can recognize that as ancient wisdom speaking through cellular memory rather than something to feel guilty about. When certain foods make you feel deeply satisfied, you can trust that response. When your body tells you what it needs, you can listen with new respect. Your relationship with food matters as much as the food itself. Remember the reverence your ancestors brought to eating, the gratitude, the lack of shame or guilt. Can you eat whatever you choose with more peace, more acceptance, more trust in your body's wisdom? This psychological shift alone creates better digestion, better nutrient absorption, better health outcomes. Let any food-related guilt dissolve now as you rest. You're doing your best. Your body is doing its best.
There's no perfect diet.
There's only the journey toward better nourishment, taken one small step at a time, with compassion for yourself and curiosity about what might serve you. Nose-to-tail eating, consuming the whole animal, including organs, bones for broth, connective tissue, honors your ancestors' approach even within modern cooking practices. You don't have to eat everything raw to access the wisdom of eating everything. Using all parts, wasting nothing, receiving varied nutrients from varied tissues, this alone is ancestral practice. Traditional food preparation, fermentation, soaking, sprouting helps make nutrients more available even in cooked foods. Your ancestors weren't dogmatic. They adapted to circumstances while maintaining core principles. You can do the same. Feel yourself drifting even closer to sleep now. The practical wisdom settling into your subconscious where it can percolate quietly. Nothing to do immediately.
No action required tomorrow.
Just seeds planted, possibilities opened, permission granted to explore ancestral nutrition in whatever way feels appropriate for you. The modern ancestral health movement, people rediscovering traditional diets, Nose-to-tail eating, raw dairy, organ meats. Fermented foods isn't a fad. It's collective remembering. People's bodies are calling them back to ancestral wisdom because that wisdom is true, proven across hundreds of thousands of years, still valid despite modern circumstances. You're part of this remembering now. Tonight's journey through ancestral food wisdom has changed something in you. Even if you never change a single thing about what you eat, you've remembered, you've reconnected, you've honored your ancestors by being curious about their lives, their knowledge, their nutritional sophistication. Let yourself feel proud of this.
Feel grateful for this.
Feel connected across time to every human who came before you, who figured out how to nourish themselves and their children well enough to create you, here, now, breathing softly in the darkness. Sleep now, knowing that whatever steps you take toward ancestral nourishment will be right for you. Sleep, trusting your body to guide you toward what serves you. Sleep, knowing the wisdom is always available, always patient, always waiting for you to remember. You are held by ancient knowledge. You are exactly where you need to be. Rest now, dream now. Let the possibilities germinate in the darkness. We're drifting now into the deepest waters, into the spiritual dimension of nourishment, into truths your ancestors understood that transcend mere biochemistry. Your breathing is barely perceptible, just the faintest movement. Stay here in this sacred space as we explore how food feeds not just body and mind, but soul itself. Your ancestors understood food as more than physical fuel. When they consumed an animal's heart, they believed they were taking in its courage. When they ate brain, they were consuming wisdom.
Liver for vitality and life force.
Eyes for vision, both physical and spiritual. This wasn't primitive superstition. Modern nutritional science confirms organs contain concentrated nutrients supporting exactly these qualities. The heart is the most muscular organ, rich in CoQ10 for energy production, in carnitine for converting fat to fuel, courage and vitality at the biochemical level. The brain contains the highest concentration of omega-3s supporting cognition and wisdom. The liver contains more nutrients per gram than any other food, truly the seat of vitality. Your ancestors' spiritual understanding aligned perfectly with nutritional reality. Feel how this integration of spiritual and physical satisfies something deep in you. You don't have to choose between mysticism and science. Your ancestors didn't. They understood these as different languages describing the same truth, that certain foods feed certain aspects of being, that you literally become what you eat at every level of existence. When you consume food, you're taking the life force of another organism and transforming it into your life force. This is profound. This is sacred. This is the fundamental dynamic of life on Earth. Life consuming life, death enabling life, the eternal cycle of transformation. Your ancestors lived this understanding daily. Modern disconnection from food sources creates spiritual malnutrition alongside physical deficiency. When meat comes in plastic packages, when you never see the animal it came from, when you don't participate in the transformation from life to food, something essential is lost. Your ancestors knew intimately where their food came from. They participated in the taking of life. They honored what was given. Let yourself feel the weight of this. You are alive because other organisms died. The vegetables you eat were alive. The animals you consume were alive. Life always costs life. This isn't tragedy. This is the design of existence. Your ancestors understood this without guilt or shame, just clear recognition and gratitude. Picture them now speaking words over a kill before consuming it, thanking the animal's spirit.
Acknowledging the gift.
Committing to use every part, waste nothing, honor the sacrifice. This ceremonial relationship with food satisfied spiritual needs that modern people try to fill with other things, religion, therapy, meditation. But perhaps the deepest spiritual practice is simply eating with complete presence, gratitude, and recognition of the sacred exchange happening. Feel your own connection to this ancient practice. Even if you can't know exactly where your food came from, even if you can't participate in ceremony, you can eat with presence. You can pause before meals. You can feel gratitude. You can recognize that something died so you could continue living. This simple acknowledgement changes everything. Your ancestors believed consuming specific animals transferred their qualities. The strength of the buffalo, the speed of the antelope, the vision of the eagle. Modern epigenetics and nutrigenomics suggest they weren't entirely wrong. You literally incorporate nutrients into your cells. Your DNA expression changes based on what you eat. You become materially different based on your food choices. At the deepest level, there's no separation between you and what you eat. The atoms that make up your body came from food. The food came from soil, from sun, from rain, from other organisms. You are Earth itself, temporarily organized into human form, sustained by constant influx of Earth's materials in the form of food. This is not metaphor. This is physical reality with spiritual implications. Let this truth settle into the deepest part of you. You are not separate from nature. You are nature, consciousness experiencing itself through human form. Food is nature nourishing itself. Eating is nature feeding nature. The whole system is one unified process of transformation and continuation. Your ancestors lived this understanding viscerally. They didn't need philosophical explanations. They felt their unity with the web of life every time they ate, every time they gave thanks, every time they honored what had died to sustain them. This direct knowing fed their souls in ways modern people, disconnected from food sources, struggle to access. But the knowing is still available to you. Right now, as you rest here, you can feel your connection to everything that has ever fed you.
Every plant, every animal, every grain of salt from ancient seas.
Every drop of water cycling through Earth's systems for billions of years. All of it is you now. You are made entirely of gifts from the world around you. Feel gratitude rising like warmth in your chest. Not forced gratitude, but natural recognition of the miraculous fact that you exist, that you're sustained, that life itself continues through you. Your ancestors felt this gratitude as their baseline state. It wasn't something they had to cultivate. It arose naturally from their intimate relationship with their food sources. Modern spiritual practices often separate spirit from matter, suggesting the body is somehow less important than the soul. But your ancestors knew better. Body and soul are one. Feeding the body properly is feeding the soul. Honoring the physical is honoring the spiritual. There is no division except in confused modern thinking. When you nourish yourself with food that connects you to the web of life, that reminds you of your place in nature's cycles, that carries the life force of organisms that died to sustain you, you are engaging in spiritual practice as valid as any prayer or meditation. Your ancestors would recognize this as worship in its truest form. Let yourself rest now in the peace of this knowing. You are held by forces larger than yourself. You are sustained by the generosity of life itself. You are connected to every organism that ever existed through the recycling of matter and energy that makes your existence possible. This is the deepest spiritual truth. You are utterly interconnected with everything, sustained by everything, part of everything. Sleep now in this sacred knowing. Sleep recognizing that your body is holy, that feeding it is ceremony, that your life is part of the eternal dance of transformation that has continued unbroken for billions of years. You are soul and body, spirit and matter, indivisibly one, held by the same forces that held your ancestors, sacred in your very existence.
Rest in this truth.
Drift in this peace. You are exactly what you need to be. Sleep now in the embrace of the sacred. The darkness is complete now, soft and warm around you like velvet. In this deepest part of night, let's explore the protection that surrounds you, the ancient wisdom that guards you, the ancestral strength that flows through your DNA. the connection to hundreds of thousands of years of survivors who live on through you. Your ancestors believed that consuming an animal transferred its protective qualities. The thick hide of the buffalo protected them from cold and weapons. The keen senses of the wolf became their alertness. The resilience of the bear became their strength. Modern epigenetics reveals this wasn't entirely metaphorical. Nutrients from food genuinely affect gene expression, cellular function, your body's capabilities. Feel yourself protected right now by every ancestor who came before you. Their wisdom lives in your DNA, their survival strategies are encoded in your cells. Their resilience flows through your blood. You are not alone. You have never been alone. Millions of ancestors walk with you always, their collective strength available to you, especially in moments when you most need it. Your mitochondria, the energy producers in every cell, carry DNA passed directly from your mother, from her mother, unbroken back through time. This mitochondrial DNA is ancient beyond measure, carrying information that predates humanity itself. You carry within you an unbroken maternal line stretching back hundreds of thousands of years. Every one of those women survived long enough to reproduce. Their strength is your inheritance. Let yourself feel held by this maternal lineage.
Every grandmother, great-grandmother, ancient mother stretching back through time.
They endured ice ages, migrations, famines, predators, childbirth, loss. They survived it all. Their survivor genes are your genes. Their resilience is your resilience. When you face challenges, you're drawing on strength proven across countless generations. Your ancestors consumed the organs of apex predators when they could: bear, lion, wolf. They understood these animals carried power, protection, fierceness. Modern biology confirms apex predators concentrate nutrients up the food chain. Your ancestors, consuming them, accessed concentrated nutrition and felt connected to that predator strength. Picture your ancestors painting their bodies with ochre before hunts, speaking words of protection, feeling guarded by animal spirits and ancestral wisdom. This wasn't weakness or superstition. This was psychological preparation that affected physical performance. Believing yourself protected creates physiological changes, lowered stress hormones, improved immune function, better decision-making. You can access this same protective power. When you face challenges, remember you carry survivor DNA. When you feel weak, remember millions of ancestors supporting you. When you doubt yourself, remember that every single one of your ancestors succeeded at the ultimate challenge, staying alive long enough to reproduce. That success is your inheritance. Feel the protection surrounding you now like an invisible shield. Your ancestors love reaching across time, their wisdom available to you, their strength flowing through your veins with every heartbeat. You are guarded by forces more powerful than you can imagine. The force of life itself, proven across billions of years of evolution, concentrated in you. Your ancestors' nutritional wisdom was itself protection. Bodies, properly nourished, resist disease, heal from injury, maintain function in harsh conditions. The raw animal foods they consumed provided immune support, antioxidant protection, anti-inflammatory compounds, physical protection at the cellular level. Their food was their medicine, their shield, their armor against the challenges they faced. Let yourself imagine having that level of physical resilience. Immune system so robust that minor infections clear quickly. Cells so well nourished that they resist mutation and disease. Inflammatory balance so perfect that your body heals without chronic inflammation damaging tissues. This is your potential when properly supported nutritionally. The fat-soluble vitamins your ancestors consumed, A, D, and K2 from raw organs, were called activators by Dr. Weston Price because they activated the full genetic potential for health, development, and protection. Modern people deficient in these vitamins don't express their full genetic capacity. Your DNA contains instructions for optimal health, but those instructions need nutritional activation. Your ancestors activated their full potential through their diet. They expressed genetic programs for strong immunity, robust bones, healthy organs, clear minds. balanced emotions, not because they had superior genes, but because their genes were properly supported to express optimally. You carry those same genes, that same potential, waiting for the right nutritional signals. Feel yourself protected on every level now. Physically by your immune system working constantly, mentally by your brain processing information and making decisions,
Emotionally by your capacity to feel and recover.
spiritually by your connection to the eternal web of life. You are guarded from every direction, held by forces seen and unseen. Your ancestors understood protection as maintaining relationship with animals, with plants, with land, with sky, with each other, with the unseen forces they sensed but couldn't name. Proper relationship meant proper nourishment from food, proper respect for what fed them, proper gratitude for life itself. This web of relationship was their protection. You can restore relationship too, with your food, recognizing it as gift, with your body, honoring it as temporary home for your consciousness, with your ancestors, acknowledging their presence and guidance, with nature, remembering you're part of it, not separate from it. These restored relationships create protection in ways modern isolation never can. Let yourself rest now in the complete safety of this knowing. You are protected by ancient wisdom. You are held by ancestral love. You are guarded by the same forces that preserved human life through ice ages, through catastrophes, through challenges that would break modern people instantly.
That strength is yours.
That protection is yours.
That love is yours. Sleep now in the peace of complete safety.
Sleep, knowing that you are never alone, never unguarded, never without support. Sleep, trusting that the universe that brought you into existence continues to hold you in every moment. You are precious beyond measure. You are protected beyond knowing. You are loved beyond time itself. Rest now in the arms of ancient protection. Let all fear dissolve. Let all anxiety release. You are safe.
You've always been safe.
You will always be safe in the ultimate sense. You are part of something eternal, something that cannot die, something that continues forever through forms that change, but essence that remains. Sleep in this truth. Rest in this peace. You are home.
You are held.
You are absolutely, completely safe. The journey is complete now, the circle closing, the wisdom delivered. You're floating in the deepest darkness, the softest peace, the most complete rest. Stay here, exactly here, as we bring everything together, as your ancestors offer their final blessing.
As you drift into the sleep that heals everything it touches. Return with me one last time to that tribal circle 100,000 years ago.
The meal is finished now. Bellies are satisfied with raw, nourishing food that will sustain them through the night and beyond. Children sleep curled against mothers, their breathing soft and even. The elderly rest peacefully, their long lives a testament to the wisdom they've lived. Young adults drift towards sleep, their strong bodies relaxing completely, trusting in tomorrow. The stars overhead are brilliant, undimmed by any artificial light. The same stars that shine above you right now, though you can't see them through your roof. The same constellations wheeling slowly across the sky, marking time that moves and doesn't move, that changes everything and changes nothing. The eternal now, where your ancestors still live, where their wisdom still speaks, where you can always return to remember what your body has always known. You are there with them. You have been there all along. There is no separation between then and now, between here and there, between you and them. You are one continuous stream of consciousness, one unbroken line of life, one eternal human family sitting by the same fires, eating the same foods, dreaming the same dreams of survival and connection and meaning. Feel the collective peace of every human who ever slept under these stars. Their rest is your rest. Their dreams are your dreams. Their safety is your safety. You belong to this circle, this family, this tribe that spans all of space and time. When you sleep, you join them. When you wake, you carry them with you. You are never alone. You are held always by this ancient belonging. The raw meat they ate today has done its work perfectly. Enzymes helping digestion while they sleep. Beneficial bacteria fermenting food into healing compounds. Nutrients being extracted and delivered to every cell. Muscles repairing from the day's use.
Immune cells patrolling for threats.
Neurons consolidating memories and processing emotions. Everything working in perfect harmony because the body has been given everything it needs. Your own body wants this same harmony. Right now, as you rest in complete stillness, your body is doing its best to restore itself, to heal what needs healing, to strengthen what needs strengthening, to balance what needs balancing. It's working on your behalf, requiring nothing from your conscious mind, just the raw materials provided by what you've eaten and the time provided by your rest. Let yourself feel profound gratitude for your body, for every heartbeat it's given you without being asked, for every breath it's drawn, every movement it's made possible, every thought it's supported, every moment of consciousness it's sustained. Your body is a miracle performing miracles constantly, and all it asks in return is to be fed properly, rested sufficiently, moved naturally, honored respectfully. Your ancestors had perfect relationship with their bodies.
No shame, no disgust, no disconnection.
They lived in their bodies fully, experiencing every sensation, trusting every signal, grateful for every capability. This is your birthright too, to inhabit your body with complete peace, to honor it as the sacred vessel it is, to feed it with the wisdom your ancestors proved across hundreds of thousands of years. Tomorrow you'll wake in a modern world with modern challenges, but you'll carry something with you now that you didn't have before this journey. You'll carry the knowing that your ancestors lived long, vital, healthy lives through nutritional wisdom. You'll carry the understanding that chronic disease isn't inevitable. You'll carry the recognition that your body knows what it needs if you'll listen to it. You don't need to change everything immediately. You don't need to eat perfectly tomorrow. You don't need to replicate your ancestors' diet exactly. Just remember this night. Just hold this wisdom gently. Just trust that your body is ancient and wise and knows what sustains human life because it's been doing exactly that for hundreds of thousands of years. Perhaps you'll view food differently now. Perhaps when you crave certain foods, you'll recognize ancestral wisdom speaking through cellular memory. Perhaps you'll release shame and guilt about wanting what your body needs. Perhaps you'll trust your instincts more, knowing they're honed by countless generations of successful survivors. Perhaps you'll feel more connected to nature, to the web of life, to the eternal cycles that sustain all living things. Perhaps you'll eat with more presence, more gratitude, more reverence for the life force that becomes your life force. Perhaps you'll honor your body more deeply, recognizing it as the temporary home of something eternal. The ancient circle blesses you now. Every ancestor who came before you, every grandmother and grandfather stretching back through time, every survivor who overcame obstacles to deliver you here, now, breathing softly in the darkness. They bless you with their strength. They bless you with their wisdom. They bless you with their love that transcends time itself. May you sleep as they slept, deeply, peacefully, restorative. May you wake remembering that you carry unbroken wisdom in every cell of your being. May you nourish yourself with the same reverence they did, honoring the life that sustains yours. May you live long and live well, vital and strong, expressing the full genetic potential they passed to you. May you know yourself as what you truly are, an ancient being in modern form, carrying the wisdom of ages, connected to every human who ever lived, part of the eternal dance of life, sustaining life, consciousness experiencing itself through your unique perspective, sacred in your very existence. The raw meat that nourished them still calls to something deep in your cellular memory. The wisdom they lived still whispers through your DNA. The strength they possessed still flows through your blood. The health they maintained still waits in your genetic potential, ready to express more fully when you remember the way. Sleep now, ancient one. Sleep, knowing you're held by forces larger than you can imagine. Sleep, knowing you're protected by ancestral wisdom, proven across impossible spans of time. Sleep, knowing you're loved by millions of beings who came before you, who survived everything, who gave you life, who want nothing more than for you to thrive. Let your breathing become so soft it's almost imperceptible. Let your body become so heavy it feels like it's sinking through the bed into the earth itself. Let your mind dissolve like sugar in water, thoughts disappearing into the ocean of consciousness from which they arose. You are safe. You are held. You are home. The ancient sleepers welcome you to their circle. The stars wheel overhead, marking time that is and isn't, that flows and stands still. The earth holds you as it held them. The same forces that sustained human life for 300,000 years sustain you now. You belong. You have always belonged. You are exactly where you need to be. Sleep now in ancient peace. Sleep in ancestral wisdom. Sleep, knowing that everything you need to thrive is already within you, encoded in your DNA, remembered by your cells, waiting only for you to give permission to trust, to remember the way home. The fires burn low. The breathing of sleepers creates a gentle rhythm like waves on a shore. The night deepens into its most restful hours,
And you, across all that time, across all that distance, sleep with them. One circle, one family.
one eternal human story of survival, wisdom, and the sacred act of nourishing life with life. May your dreams carry you to places of healing and knowing. May your sleep restore everything that needs restoring. May you wake with the sunrise feeling renewed, remembering, ready to carry this ancient wisdom into your modern life in whatever way feels right for you. Tomorrow night, if you wish, we can journey even further back. We can explore why your ancestors never got cancer, never developed autoimmune disease, never suffered dementia. We can discover the lost hunting techniques that shaped human consciousness. We can learn the tribal sleep arrangements that prevented insomnia. There is so much more wisdom waiting, but for now, just sleep, just rest. Just let yourself be held by the same forces that held your ancestors, cradled by the same earth, blessed by the same stars, protected by the same eternal love that has sustained human life since the beginning. You have learned tonight that raw meat wasn't primitive ignorance but sophisticated nutrition, that your ancestors' diet gave them longevity, vitality, strong bodies, sharp minds, balanced emotions, and peaceful sleep, that every nutrient modern science is discovering existed in their food, bioavailable and complete. Most importantly, you've learned that this wisdom isn't lost.
It lives in you.
It whispers through your cravings. It speaks through your body's responses. It calls you home to yourself, to your nature, to your place in the web of life that has never stopped holding you. Rest now in complete peace. Rest knowing you are ancient and wise and capable beyond measure. Rest knowing your ancestors walk with you always, their love reaching across time, their wisdom available in every moment, their strength flowing through your veins with every heartbeat. The blessing is complete. The circle is closed. The wisdom is delivered.
And you, precious one, descendant of survivors,
Carrier of ancient knowledge, are drifting now into the deepest sleep, the most restorative rest, the healing darkness that makes all things new. Sleep, dear one. Sleep as your ancestors slept. Deep rest, complete rest.
ancient rest.
You are safe.
You are loved.
You are held. You are home. The night embraces you. The earth cradles you. The ancestors bless you.
Sleep now.
Sleep deeply. Sleep peacefully. Sleep, knowing that when you wake, you'll carry this wisdom forward. A bridge between ancient and modern. A remembering of what was almost forgotten. a keeper of truths that will sustain human life as long as humans exist. Thank you for this journey. Thank you for remembering. Thank you for being exactly who you are, a continuation of the most successful line of survivors in Earth's history, carrying their wisdom forward, keeping the flame alive, honoring the past while living fully in the present. Sleep now. Just sleep. The ancient ones watch over you. The wisdom protects you. The love sustains you. You are exactly where you belong, doing exactly what you need to do, which right now is simply resting, simply sleeping, simply allowing your body to restore itself as it has done every night for hundreds of thousands of years. Breathe, release, surrender, sleep. You are home.